Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. We already did a Happy Mail segment. Thank you so much to Christy MV, Desiree, and Miss Kim S. L, because she has two last names. So thank you guys for all the Happy Mail, and that's a separate video. So I did have a request again to see the old napkin journal. Okay. So it's I deconstructed it. It's out of the book, and it's 12 by 12. And I think I have most of the pages. There's really not that many in there. Maybe 10 pages or double pages though. So hey, Linda. Anybody else popping in? So I'll show that again if Kim's still here, and I don't know if she is, but if she is, let me check. Thanks everybody for being here. She might have had to leave. I'm not looking. I don't see her. So, the old napkin journal. Yeah. So I'm going to record it. So if Kim's had to leave, because she's the one that asked to see it. And oh, I got to write myself another note here. Yeah. Okay, and then we also oh, she is there. Okay, I just didn't see you in the scroll. Thanks, Kim. Okay, so I'm going to show the napkin journal, and then we'll probably do something in the big Moleskine. This big Moleskine, which is 12 by 16, I think. Yeah, 12 by 16. Close enough. And I use this one for mixed media, all kinds of, just the same kind of stuff that we use the other art journals for, but a little less, just a little bit more loose. Okay, a little bit more loose. I've deconstructed it. What that means, I've taken it all apart. Okay, the pages some have been sprayed, stenciled, a little less fussy than I do in my dilutions journals, which I'm more aware of how much sprays I'm putting, where I'm putting this. I'm a little more particular in those books because I know I'm going to probably fussy cut out some color book pages or something and put in those dilutions books. And so I'm a little bit more particular. This one, I'm not particular at all. Throw anything in this one. Same thing for the desk journal. I'll throw anything in that. This one here. My rubber banded desk journal. Where's Carla? Carla loves seeing these. It's so funny, Carla. Oh my gosh, I love seeing all those journals because she likes doing this kind of thing too. So she loves seeing it. I'm the same way. If somebody else is doing the same kind of thing like collage or mixed media, I'm all over it. I'm looking for those videos. Just saying. But this is my desk journal, and you can see it's pretty thick, and it's just for all kinds of paint, scrapey paint, and then I might go back and work something on it. Like where's one that we've done something on? And they usually don't stick unless I close the book without letting it dry, which happens occasionally, But where's one of the pages that we've done recently? Where's a page we've done recently? Here. No, that's not. Well, we worked a little bit on a castle on that one. But it's just leftover scraped paint, bits of collage or whatever. And we put a little trail of people going up the hill there. You're scared of the cameo? No need to be scared of the cameo, Terry. Unless you forget to put your paper on a mat, there's no reason to be scared. Just put the paper on the mat. Yeah, this is my version of a desk journal that just sits on my desk where little bits of, and I do go in there and I'll add other things, stencils, but it's just bits of things, right? Then you can go back in and do some stuff in it. I've numbered all the pages up to, I think, 200. It probably holds about 400 pages. Well, what this one is made out of, this is the, let me measure, because I always forget the exact measurements of papers. It is 11 by 14, is it? 11 by, why is it 14 and a half? Is it 11 by 15? Well, anyway, it's just that thin copy paper, you know, printer paper, 11 by 14, 15, whatever. And they're folded in half, and I made it into a rubber band book. Now, remember this one? I've shown it a few times. It's a rubber band book, and all it is signatures made out of folded over printer paper, the long ones, whatever size that is, 11 by 14, folded in half, made into signatures. So they're thin, so that you can get a lot in it when it's thin paper, right? Let me see if there's a couple others. See, this is the kind of stuff that's in here. Until I go in and make it something, this is what it stays like. You know, this is what it stays like when we scrape paint on there. This is now here's a napkin right here. That's a napkin right there, right? Just all kinds of stuff. It's scrapey paint. But here's one where we've gone back in and developed something off. You did Inspire Space Collage. Yes, please do. Take a picture of it. And if you're on Twitter or Instagram, Purple Angel, post it there too. But feel free to send it to me, yeah. You've never seen this one, Terry? Oh my gosh, this one's been around for quite a time. Quite a time. Because this is the one that, well, it's one of the ones. We did this on stream. We did this about 2 weeks ago. We turned this into this. There's a little rabbit peeking out right there. Okay, so this is just leftover scrape paint, a little bit of collage, and then go in there and turn it into something. Okay. And most of these, I gotta say, most of the ones in this book have not been turned into anything because I'm constantly using this one. I'm constantly using this one to scrape paint off on. This is my go-to desk journal at the moment. Okay? So, that's a heavy Big Mama Jamba. All right, so let me go back and show you the old napkin journal. Then we'll get into my newer version of the napkin journal. I don't think that'd fit in there. I guess I could keep them in there because people always ask me about the napkin journal, and it sits on a shelf. It sits on a shelf, and they kind of get stuck sometimes because I weigh them down with other books. But I could just barely fit in here just to have a place to keep these. And again, these get out of order because I flip through them and they're not side by side, so I got to find its match, like this one. Okay, so this one has a match to it somewhere. We'll just flip through it and I'll just kind of turn them as I go because they're all in different directions. What did I use for the cover? Oh, okay, so the cover is just chipboard. So how I make these is usually 3 pieces of chipboard. Chipboard, chipboard, and a chipboard spine. Okay? I usually cover it with pretty paper, a scrap, like this is a piece of scrapbook paper, and then this is a cutout leaf out of a calendar. I duct tape it together. Okay? I duct tape this to this. And then I just glued some washi tape. Now you got to glue. If you put anything over duct tape, if you want to cover duct tape, you're going to have to glue it. Just like washi tape is not going to stick to duct tape because it's so shiny and slick, right? So I glued the washi tape on top of the duct tape just to make it a little prettier. But some of these books that I make like this, guys, I leave them kind of. Sometimes, especially if I do them on stream, I'll leave them halfway unfinished so that I can show you what they look like partially done so you can see the bones of it. And then all it is just signatures of that 12 by 14 or 14 and a half, 11 by 14, folded in half, and then using rubber bands to make a rubber band book. That's all this is. And it's just good for just throwing extra paint in. Okay? Oh, thanks, guys. All right, so let's go back over to the napkin journal. Again, this is 1/2 of it. Now, these were made probably about 2011, way before I was putting anything on YouTube, just when I was just doing new streams. And so what the point of this is using napkins. Using napkins, stencils. I don't think I used any stamps in it, but it's pretty much napkins and stencils. Okay. So, and I'm going to have to I think, see, like this one I think goes this way. So I'm going to have to just kind of fussy flip back and forth because they're not attached anymore when they get out of order. Okay, so for instance, this one. This is a die cut. This is a bird cut out of a magazine. This, I think back here, was part of a napkin. And then the rest is stencil and paint on top. That's a flower cut out. So it's kind of like a stencil and napkin. And these are 12 by 12s. So the whole thing is 12 by 24. Where do you get rubber bands? Staples. I get them by the bags. I get bags of rubber bands, and then I keep them in my Joycey, my little Joycey jar. I keep my rubber bands. I'm getting low, and when they start getting low, I have an extra stash of them in a baggie. Well, I won't dig out my rubber bands right now. I don't think y'all need to see that. But I just keep them. This is some little, so like a mini Pringles jar that Joycey gave me with her paper on it. And I fill up, this usually is full rubber bands. Okay, I just keep them on my drafting table. Keep them on the drafting table. Hey, Miss Anita K. So there's that. And in no particular, I'm going backwards here. Okay, so here we go. The poppies and the little mini poppy border are all off of napkins. Stencils, and again, guys, these are like from 2011. Stencil, drippies, napkins, stencils, and paint. So I'll kind of hold it up to you so you can kind of see. See, that's all napkin, 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 napkin. And this is the border off the napkin. Oh, question. Yeah, the rubber bands will dry rot after a couple of years, Vicki. But, you know, I don't care. I'll put a new rubber band. So, yeah, but be aware that, you know, after a couple years, the rubber bands are probably not going to hold up. You don't have to use rubber bands. You can use twine. You can use baker's twine, wrap baker's twine around your signatures 2 or 3 times and make it thick, or just plain twine. You can use ribbon. You can use anything to hold your signatures in. To me, rubber bands are just the easiest to slip things in and out, to go around a binding, a spine, you know. So it's just easier for me. You have reams of paper that, oh, Max sent by mistake. You didn't want to send it back. There you go, Marie. I see some books in your future. Yes. There you go. Make some of these books. They don't have to be as big as the one I just showed you. They can be any size, because you can cut pieces of chipboard to whatever size you want. You can cut your paper down to whatever size you want. So you can make small ones, big. I've got tiny ones. I've got 12 by 12 ones. Okay, I haven't really shown anything else, Carla, since you had an ad. This is all I've got to so far. This one and this one. That's all I've shown so far. Hey, Brooke. Anybody else popping in? Thanks, everybody, for being here. Kimmy. Okay, so I'm just trying to point out the different elements and what we use to make these pages. Okay, again, they're 12 by 12 each. All right. All right, this one, and again, let's see which, this doesn't go with that, I don't think. I think that's a separate, these are two, hang on, let me try to put them together. This one goes with this one. Hang on. Like I said, they're out of order some. Flipping. This was a off-the-cuff rabbit trail showing this book again, so I'm not sure where the other half of that page is. Wait a minute, we'll find it. Where is it? Well, I don't know where the other half of this one is. Okay, maybe I left a couple on the shelf. I'll have to dig them out. But this is another double page spread. But that's napkin in the background there. That's napkin right here. All that's a napkin. Can you see that? What size do I use? What size do I use? Oh, rubber bands. What size do I use? I'll show you. I don't know a size. I don't know a number, if that's what you mean. I use this size. This size. Whatever that size is, right there. I don't know the number. I look at the package and go, oh, that looks good. Yeah. You can get a whole bag of them at Staples for like $3. You know, I mean, I'm talking a big bag. A bag full. But that's the size I use. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what the other half of that is. This is a cutout somebody sent me. And I just had it like cutting the flower, you know. And then there's some stencils, napkin, and just paint. Stencil right there on top of the napkin. Okay. Then the next one, let's go to this one. This goes with this. Let's see which way do they go. I think it goes like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Again, the flowers are all napkins, stencils. And this is, when I did these guys, I probably had, I don't know, you could probably count the stencils I had on my both hands. I did not have a lot of stencils. The girl sent me a lot of, Jean sent me some cutout ones that she'd done, plastic stencils and different ones, but I had very little. I mean, I had a few, but very little that I could really do my mixed media with as far as stencils go. And of course, now I have my Cameo. I can cut out anything, right? You're welcome, Carla. Hi, Island Girl. And Island Girl's another one, but I forget your name from YouTube. What's your name again, Island Girl? I don't want to write it down. I try to keep it on my Post-its, but until I get to, you know, remembering your name. Okay, so the butterflies I think were calendar pages. And then all the rest of this is stencil and napkins. The flowers are all napkins. And these aren't necessarily supposed to be, there's a couple of them that are farther along than others, but I really was all about the process using the napkins. So it was more about the process of using the napkins and trying to really say make something. Hey, Anita K. Still trying to see Island Girls. Joanne. Thanks, Joanne. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the next one, this one doesn't go with that. Hang on. Let me match them up as best I can. This goes with this one. And it goes this way. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. This one went this way, I think. That went, or maybe it went this way. Yeah, it went this way. Okay. They're all taken apart, guys. So, and I only pull them out when somebody wants to see them. Okay. So you can see there's some collage bits over here. Stencil. I think there's some napkin right there. Yeah, I have to feel it. You know, I can feel it. So there's this one. Then this one. Let me find this other half. Let me find the mate to that one. That might be the other half on the shelf. Because I think I left one page on the shelf, and that's why there's two that have no mates. So, yeah, this one doesn't have its match. But you can see the stencils there. Oh, yay! Over 100 viewers. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's unusual for me to have over 100 people in the day. You know, thanks, everybody. Thanks. Thanks, Val. And hi, Val, by the way. Suzanne said Tuesday morning she found some plastic protectors, 12 by 12. Yeah, the if you found 12 by 12 with different pockets in them, those are Project Life sleeves, Suzanne. Those are from the Project Life system. They come with different size pockets. Yeah. They were, Terry, these were, I bound them myself with tape and glue. But I'm not a bookbinder, and I don't sew. Even, I mean, Jean, bless her heart, she was trying to do some, that was crazy, Jean. I couldn't even believe you attempted that project. But anyway, it started kind of falling apart because I've done some bookbinding and some sewing. I don't enjoy it. And I'd rather just do some rubber banding or twine or ribbon. Doesn't have to be rubber band. You got it down pat now? Good, Jean. That was a project, let me say. All right, so let's see. I got a couple other ones here. This one goes, and this one's not finished. Again, some of them are left unfinished so that you could see, and I think it goes this way, how I start. So like these are the napkins right here. And then some collage bits, but then I start painting it all in. Okay, so I left these unfinished on purpose. You'll be making, oh, I'm impressed, Jean. You must have, that was a lot of work. I guess you just learned to love it. Jean. So you can see here, hey, Colleen, this is just bits collaged down, not incorporated yet. And then same, I think, for this girl. Although this one's further along, I can still see where I've left some parts to be painted in. All this is napkins. All this is napkins around here. And we're going to do, I'll do one here, and I'll show you a couple of the larger ones I've got in the big 14 or 12 by 14, 16 moly over here. Oh, look, there's Hubster. I see you in the corner, Hubster. He's not saying anything, but I see him. Okay, so I look on the bright side on this one because it was so bright and happy. Look at that. That's how bright those colors are. I see that, Lynn. So, yeah, there's those. Then, let's see, what's the next one? This one side. Now, a couple of these girls have got, because they've got a little scraped up. Let's put it this way. Like, see how her face has got scrapes on it? These are not varnished or anything, so they've got a little wear and tear on them. Okay, this one this is a napkin, and so I think most of these we started with the napkin as the base. In this one here, I pretty much know that I'm going to add a color book page, girl, or something else on that page. But in this instance, I think we pretty much started with the idea of let's put the napkins down first and then build the page around the napkins, because it was all about the napkins in these. Okay, and then there's a calendar butterfly wing right there on her. And then the stencil is all the swirls you see. The lemons and the jars are two separate napkins, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to feel. Yeah, that's two separate napkins. So we have the lemon napkin and we have the blueware jars. Yeah. So I think he popped out. I think he's gone now, guys. All right, so there's that one. Then this one, it's the same thing. Let me find her other half. She almost kind of looks like a vampire because of her. Let's see, does it go this way? No, I had it right. Whoops, sorry, guys. Okay, because some of her lips came off. You know, I just left it. She kind of looks vampire-ish, but could you show the bright red one? The bright red one. Bright red one. This one? Okay, there's that one. It's more pink. It's really pink and yellow and orange. but if that's the one you mean, Orla. Thanks, Kim. I know you've been wanting to see them. Hi, Angie Bell. Yeah, I'm just going back over the napkin journal again. Well, what's left of it is kind of fallen. Well, I took it apart when it started falling apart. And then what I did with the bamboo is I just took my gold paint. And this paint I think is hard to find now. But any bright gold. I'll show you your secondary choice. But, there's a couple choices. This was my favorite gold paint. It's the Soft Body Liquitex Iridescent. What is it called? Iridescent Bright Gold. Okay, and it's a bright gold. See, but this one is good too. It's it's not very different, and it's the Deco Art Dazzling Metallic Elegant Finish Gold. It's very similar. So either one of those, right? And I just took a brush and just freehand bamboo. But the napkin there's two different napkins. This napkin, no, actually there's three different napkins. There's the zebra stripe napkin. There's this Asian, kind of a Asian flower napkin. And then there's this design napkin. So there's three napkins. Then the girl we cut out of a magazine. This is a bit of some other fabric right here, I think, out of some other magazine. Again, then the three napkins over here, and then painted it all in, and then put the bamboo on the top. All right. This one, let me get the other half, because like I said, they're sort of out of order here. This one I call my Artie Dar Fairy Forest. Artie Dar, at the time we were doing this, was around doing something with a lot of little fairies or something. I forget why we named it that, but had based on something that, yes, I did the bamboo freehand. Thanks, guys. It's kind of like the Chinese calligraphy type thing. You know, you can, anyway. So I made this one and named it Artie Dar Fairy. All the little fairies are stickers. Okay, they're all stickers. The napkins in this case are the palm trees. This right here is napkin. That's a napkin. And bits of the napkins are up at the tops here. Okay. Behind up in here, there's some napkin. And then this napkin and that napkin. All right. Then I cut out some different, this is out of, I forget what magazine, it was a vintage collectibles or something book that I got, you know, one of my dollar books. And then, so that is one there, hanger. And then this hanger with these clothespins, and they look like bridges to me. So we turned this just into a forest, and then we had all these little fairy stickers. And we just, I say we because I did this with everybody here. So when I say we, she was doing fairies in a jar. That might have been what it was, Carrie. Yeah. And that's a piece of collage clock. Y'all know I love my clocks. And it just looked like a little bridge, a little forest. And so I just kind of put the little fairies all around. Did some splattering. I don't think we did any dripping on this one. And turned it into a little fairy forest. Okay. Okay, so there's that one. Then the next one is, let me get, I wish Hubster was here when I get ready to show this other one. But, all right, so this one is one of the places where I had it taped or glued. So it's kind of like where it came apart. So it's got that white there in the spine. But she was a magazine girl. This was a calendar wing. And the wing ends right there. All right. Then we had a staircase. And remember I used this bit of staircase in another project. And I said, oh, I remember using that staircase in the napkin journal. Well, this is it. This is it right here. So the wing ends right here, and then we painted the rest of the wing to blend into the staircase. This is a stencil, that's a stencil. So she's my moth girl. And then I put a little piece of a color on her face and colored her hair to match the moth wing. We just called it Moth Girl at the time. And then the background, all that is stencil right there. That's all stencil, the brick. And then we put the watch on top of it, and see, you can see where the stenciled over the top of it. And remember, I use matte medium, so when I was stenciling this, any place that the stencil paint got on top of the watch, I could strategically wipe it away because we love our golden matte medium. Yes, and the praying woman. That's the praying Native American woman. That's where we use that other one of these. Yeah, let me see. Where is this? Let me get the right book. Oh, it's not that one. Hang on. Ah, there it is. I think it's this one. I forget sometimes which book. Oh, is it this book? Yes, it is. Okay. So this is where we used that same staircase right here. But this one is all, other than the feather, there's no, it's just collage and paint. No, there's no napkin on this one. But that's a cameo cutout feather. But look, right here, now we added some other stuff up here. That's another watch part there. But you can see it right in there on this page. Hey there. Yeah, Spidey web. Linda always liked this one too because of the spider web. But there's that stair bit. Okay. And again, let me put her together there and kind of, let me overlap there. So like you can kind of see it like that. And then this is all brick stencil there. So it's stencils and napkins and like a focal point. Not a lot going on these. These are more like wanting to do the technique rather than to really anything further than that. Okay, this one is Bacchus. We did this at Thanksgiving. I think it goes like that. I'm trying to match up the stencil. Goes this way, I think. No, it doesn't. It goes this way. There we go. Okay, so again, napkins. That leaf is a napkin. Yeah, the sparkle Angie Bell was stickles in the glitter. Somebody's asking about the glitter in this one. The glitter is stickles. A couple of colors. I think we use brown and I think we use some clear too. That's in the dilution. So like I said, these are a little bit more, I'm a little bit more fussy, particular, even though they may just start out like this is the only other one I have done. But this is how they start out, say. Whereas these started out with napkins. These started out with collage. And I'm making these more, in this book, I'm making them smaller collage bits and more detail. As you can see in this one. These are going to be much more detailed. And they're really not sticking. It's just the spine you're hearing crack. So. But these we started out with napkins. All right, the next one. This one's my favorite in this batch. This is my Muse, my Mona Lisa Muse collage napkin journal page. Yes, you gotta use your napkins. I know, right? That's why we all swap our napkins around, because we do this kind of stuff. Now, granted, you're probably not going to do a 12 by 12 double page spread, but you could still do something smaller in your art journal. Okay, so this one, let's go through this. These pages right here are from Miss Rose from a vintage Prague book that she sent me. Pages from the Prague book. And so we put those on there, and the napkins are, I think you can see them underneath here. I think those are bits underneath. Flowers maybe under there. Okay. And then the vintage page here. And of course, this is all stencil. This is part of the photograph. Stencil. This is from a different calendar page. And of course, I did all my own hand-done stars and all that. But Mona, here we go. Mona Lisa's my muse, and she's trapped in a cage because she's my muse. However, I do leave the cage open. She can come and go as she pleases, but she stays. Yes. This right here is a piece of a bracelet or a necklace from a jewelry ad or somewhere where there's some jewelry, maybe a calendar, an ad or something, but that's just pieces of jewelry. And when I laid it down, it looked like it would just perfectly hold her up, right? So that's the little cage there. This is all stencils, and there's some napkins back there, but I don't remember what one. But it's flowers, maybe. And then everything's painted over and blended in. But yeah, this one's my favorite. I love this page. You like this journal? Thanks, Kimmy. This one's old. Like I said, I think it's from 2011, 12 at the latest. So it's at least 4 years old. Okay. The next page was, this was my Alice in Wonderland, and she was in a calendar. And all the poppies, again, I've used the poppies again. You saw another page previously with the poppy napkin. All that's poppies from a napkin. I left this like a little open path, like going down a little path. And then I used my hand-carved bee stamp just to put a bee there. But look, see how it looks like there's all kinds of stuff going on way back there in the back. So there's my Alice. What else do we have here? Okay, this one has a little bit of a Alice calendar bit right here. And these are napkins. I don't know why I do remember that. Colleen's the one that sent me these napkins. I don't how I remember this particular ones are from Colleen, I have no idea. Could you explain about the muse? You've never heard anything about the muse. Well, you know what a muse is. Okay, well, let me finish this first. My muse is Mona Lisa, and I always seem to get things accidentally sent. This was before Happy Mail. Like I would be I guess it was confirmed to me that she was my muse some years ago when I've always loved Leonardo. I have all kinds of books on Leonardo, and I just love his sketchbooks and the idea that he wrote everything down, because y'all know how I am about that. It's, to me, write it down. You have no excuse. That's just me. Yeah, write it down. If you got an idea, you don't write it down, you lose the idea. It's your own fault. So anyway, I do keep my not that I need reminding now to write things down. Years ago, I got the habit of writing things down, and seeing Mona Lisa always reminded me, write it down. Leonardo would want you to write it down. Leonardo, and there's more to it than all this. But anyway, one day I was thinking, I was just really thinking about Mona Lisa and the muse thing and writing things down, and all kinds of things were going through my head. But that day in the mail, I got one of these, and it's some kind of an ad. But it had to be an expensive ad, so I don't know, I can't even remember who put it out. But it's one of those companies that they sell art prints. You know, they want you to buy art prints like a subscription base. I don't even know if that's around anymore, guys. But they wanted you to buy subscriptions to art prints, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Some of you that know what I'm talking about. You do, Terry? Okay, so anyway, that same day, in the mail, I'd never had this subscription sales thing come to me ever. Never signed up for it. Don't know why it came to me. But they sent me a pack of those posters they want you to subscribe to, and the very top one was Mona. And I know that people, it's just a coincidence. Anyway, so that just kind of made me think, I'm going to make Mona my muse. So ever since then, Mona's been my muse. But I've always loved Leonardo way before that. You know, not just his paintings, but his sketchbooks and his writing, all of it, right? So anyway, then like I said, there's a little bit more to it than all that, but you know. So I always usually keep Mona in a sketchbook. She's right up there on my wall, hanging up there. So, okay, so back to so back to the napkin journal, and I see Colleen is here. For some reason, I just remembered that Colleen sent me these two napkins. There's two different ones. One are daffodils, one is daisies with a fence. So this is one napkin, this is another napkin, and we just kind of made the secret garden, right? So here's your secret garden. There's Alice is way back here. These are die-cut birds, Somebody sent me some, you know, the little cutouts. So I put them there, like guarding the gates there. And all the moss is hand doodled. I just hand doodled all the moss, all the little bits of moss hanging down. That used to be one of my signature piece things to do in my calligraphies. Like, let me find a little swat. Let me find a scrap paper. I would do in my calligraphy, in my illuminated letters, and it's going to be bumpy because this is bumpy. But like I have a calligraphy here, and I might have a border like that. And you know, you'd have, I'll just put my initial, have an illuminated letter here, right? Now see, now I'm going to stop. I'm going to want to do a full-on calligraphy on a scrap paper. Anyway, so I would decorate, you know, do the decorating. You have your designs and stuff right there. But one of my signature calligraphy elements that I would do, not with a big Sharpie like this, but with a tiny pen, is like, I'll do it kind of big so you can see. Like, let's just say this was the big illuminated letter. Okay. And you'd have all kinds of little flowers, and you could decorate. Well, I would do all this moss, and I would fill the letters with moss. And I'm not doing it as neat here, of course, as I would do on a real calligraphy, but I just want to give you all the idea. I have actually quite a few calligraphy stories I could tell. I have one real good calligraphy story. Something like that. I do Spanish moss. Yeah, me too, Sarah. Oh, and Sarah, I did have to kind of speed through a few sections of it, but I did watch part one of your, and if you want to put your YouTube link in there, she did a part one room tour. Are you going to upload the other part, or did you just not do another part yet? Because I know you uploaded it from Ustream, but I didn't go to your Ustream. I just saw it on YouTube, so I just saw part one. Okay, so I would do all this Spanish moss like this, but then I would go in there. Let me get a bright color that'll show up. And then I would put, not with a marker, but with paint. But I just want to kind of show you what it kind of looked like. And you could have little flowers hanging down. So that right there. And I don't know if anybody else does it, but back when I did this, I invented this for myself. I'd never seen anybody put moss in a picture before. I'm talking back in the 80s, guys, okay? This is back in the 80s. I'm sure a lot of people, you put moss in their decorations and stuff now, but I've never seen it. For me, I invented it for myself. But so I would do little moss things like this in my calligraphy. So just to kind of show you, I did a quick version of that. Spanish moss in these trees, okay? All right, next, this one was kind of plain. This one just had some butterflies. These are calendar pages. And then this was the napkin right here. These little jars, you know, it's Greek, Italian jars. And they had flowers in them, and then we used the inspiration of the colors in the napkin. So if you don't know what, let's just say you go, oh, I got these pretty napkins. Let me grab some of the ones that Kim just sent. I have these pretty napkins. I don't know what to do with it. Well, you don't have to, but I'm just saying one way to do it is to take, your color inspiration from the napkin. So in this case, you might want to focus on the purple or purple and orange, you know, something like that. And you can draw the colors out that you want from the napkin, and that's your color inspiration on your piece. Okay. All right. So then this is another one of my favorite ones. It's the last, no, I got one more after this, Hubster's favorite one. This one again, so I used a girl out of a magazine, but I put more collage flower stuff into her hair to make it look like her hair was flowing out. Like this is all her hair, right? Put a little color inspiration, and again, she's kind of cracking because this is getting kind of looked through a lot. And so we added some stuff there. But this wing right up to here is a calendar page, and then hand painted the rest of it to carry across the 2-page spread. This is a napkin. That's a napkin. What else is here? This is a napkin. That's just a bit of candy cutout. Stencil. Stencil. So there you go. And again, napkin here. There's napkin behind her. We glued on top of it, but there's napkin over there. And then just painted her wing to come all the way across like that. So that's that page. Yeah, links are open, guys. Now this is supposed to be upside down on this page. Now, let me find the other half to this. So this was from the Alice calendar, and I know I've told you all this story lots of times. So this is upside down on purpose because Alice's world, you know. And so I did the mushrooms upside down. The flower, we used clock watch parts for the petals or the flower caps, or the mushroom caps are made out of watch parts. So here's my double page spread here. Again, there's napkins way in the back, but this is all stencils and watch parts, and Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So Hubster, when I did this, I don't remember exactly how he did it. It's been a long time. But Hubster said something about how that looked like me. I went, what do you mean this looks like me? I look like this? I look like Tweedledee and Tweedledum? And he said, well, you got that sack shirt. Because y'all know I got a lot of striped shirts. Black and white striped shirts. So he was teasing me. So, yeah. Tweedledee, yeah. Anyway, that was that joke there. So that's all in the napkin, in the actual really old napkin journal. Let me take a sip here. But if you find like this flower here, I'm pretty sure that we're also doing all the color things back then. And people want to say, well, how do you pick colors, or how do you know what colors to pick? We use the napkin as the inspiration. So whatever the colors in the napkin were is what we used to pick, you know, butterfly wing collage bits, the paint and whatever. It was the napkins that were the inspiration. So if you don't know what to do in an art journal or a mixed media journal, you just don't know where to start. If you start with a napkin, you got some color, you got some ideas to start with. You have that shirt too, Purple Angel? I actually do have overalls. I'll tell you the story. Where's that picture again? I used to have, now this was back in the 80s. I think Hubster and I, was it when we were on the way to Alaska in 1983? We drove to Alaska. He got stationed in Alaska. We lived there for 3 years. And we were on the way to Alaska in 1983, and we drove. It's 5,000 miles. From San Antonio to Seattle is 2,500. From Seattle to Anchorage is another 2,500, because you got to go through, British Columbia, Yukon, and then curve all the way down to Alaska. We drove the Alcan Highway back in 1983. All right. Now I'll just get a little bit of story in here. This was before, and let's say this real quick. It was so funny. Terry, I think it was Terry B. Terry Trouble. She commented on my YouTube channel last week. I was showing the inspiration journal, and I said, and this is going to be I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes. And Terry went, oh my God, you sucked me in. It was 2.5 hours later. Of course, you can see the time stamp on my videos. You know it wasn't 10 minutes, but I had to laugh. Terry made me laugh. And she goes, yeah, that 10-minute video turned into 2.5 hours. Anyway, so when we were driving to Alaska, in 1983, there was no cell phones. We didn't even wear seatbelts back then. It wasn't even a law you had to wear. You didn't even have to have a seatbelt, let alone have to wear one. But we drove all the way to to Anchorage from San Antonio, and we took 2 weeks. We took a lot of time because we wanted to vacay on the way up, stopped at my aunt and uncle's up in Washington, stuff like my grandfather's in Idaho. So we did all kinds of other things along the way. So we took our time, but we drove it in 2 weeks. Well, back then, so we stopped at different places along the way, including Las Vegas. And we stopped, I think it was at the MGM Grand. We wanted to stay at a nice fancy hotel on our way to living in Alaska, right? I think it was the MGM Grand, and it was before they had a fire that burned down. I think they rebuilt. I don't know. I have to ask Sherry, he's the one that lives in Vegas now. I really don't know anything about Vegas since 1983, right? Okay, so I'm getting to the point here. So back in 1983, it was like a fad or a trend. Let's say it was a trend. Men's tuxedos for girls were popular, okay? So I had it wasn't like a full-on ruffle shirt. It was a white shirt, red suspenders, men's looking. It was a woman's outfit, but it had the pants that were pinstriped pants, and a satin little vest that went with the outfit, the whole ensemble, right? And I might have had red shoes. I think I had red Converse. I think I was wearing red Converse. No, Reeboks. I had red Reebok tennis shoes, the leather ones, and my tuxedo, and my red suspenders, and a white shirt, okay? You had that? Oh, okay. Anyway, so I was wearing that outfit. Now, let me just say, if you had that outfit today, if it comes back around, if it's readdressed in a trend, don't wear it at a casino, restaurant, club thing in Vegas, because you will get nonstop people coming up and to you and say, I'll have a gin and tonic. I'll take a glass of wine. I'll have a... Everybody thought I was a waitress, for goodness sake, in that outfit. Do not wear a faux girl tux in a casino. I don't care what era it is. If you don't want to start serving drinks... You had the tux too? Oh my gosh. Yes. Anyway, so there's the suspender story and the separate story of the striped shirt. Okay, so now we're going to move on. Let's move on. Let's move on to the big moleskina, shall we? All righty. And of course, Hubster, he thinks that stuff's kind of hilarious. He'll purposefully, he probably sent some people over to me. And somebody might have asked him, where's a waitress? I need a drink. And he'd probably point over to me. There she is right there. I can so see Hubster doing that. Seriously. He would do that. Okay. All right. So in this one, I'll show you a couple ones that we've done using napkins and or color books. I don't even remember what all we've done in this one. I think we use both. And I've only done 2 or 3 pages in the big one here. The rest is just starter pages like that, right? But I think we've done maybe 3. I think we've done 3 pages in this one using napkins and color book pages. So if I'm going to use, I don't want to take the time to use a color book page in this, okay? Because I have to stop and color a page. So I would want to I'll have to either find a color book page I've already colored and cut it out. I think I might have one in the kimono book, or I can use one of those quick ones like out of this. Hang on. the big monster, the Juliet Crane one that we've used one out, because these don't take too long to color because they're, you know, pretty simplistic as far as, you know, coloring a page would go. So we might cut another one out of here. So this is where we've done, these are, thanks guys. Oh, you know, it's fun for, I'm not the, Barb's a storyteller. She used to be on midnights and tell stories. I'll tell you, Barb's got some stories. Okay, so this book, again, is, I think, what was it? Let me get my clear ruler on the right side. Like 14, oh, hang on guys, I got this ruler. Yeah. So it's is it 14? I think it's 14 by 16 by 14 Moleskine. Now, I gotta say, I got this for my birthday a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And I really didn't use it a lot. And I said, I'm going to use that baby. So I started, you know, doing all the slap and dragging in it, right? And then occasionally I'll pull this one out and we'll use it. But, you know, I got lots of journals going. I'll use whatever one just I feel like that day. But, so this one, I did deconstruct it. I took it all apart. But they're not cheap. It's just like a real Moleskine, except the spine is connected. It's all connected when you buy it. But it's got the pocket, right? It's got the bookmark thing in it. And it's black, just like the regular Moleskines are, right? The paper is the off-white. It's the off-white kind of cream color paper. But I started using this. I'm just going to take it apart. So I just took it all apart, pulled all the spine apart, and now it's just basically, essentially, just like a portfolio thing now, rather than an actual journal. It's a loose page journal. All right, so in this one, the napkin is right here. Okay, so this napkin right here. It's a little different than the one that Kim sent us. Okay, and I'm going to go through, I'll pull out some different ones. We'll see what colors inspire us. We don't have to use Kim's today, but I just want you to see that you can pull from the different colors, right? So this was one napkin here. Was this a separate? No, this was all one napkin. It had the magnolias and the butterflies on it. The rest we painted in. There's one little collage part right here, and then so a little bit of collage right there. The rest we did drippage, painted in the stars and the shooting star and all that. These were just one page. I think all these we just did were one page spreads because they were big and I wanted to be able to stream it, being able to see it. Okay, so that's the one we did a lot. And then we, I just added the longer directional pointing watch hands. So it's very, there's not a lot going on, but you can use your imagination to fill in the what you see in it yourself. Somebody just did a napkin swap not too long ago, Kimmerby. Yes, this page is done, Cockatoo. This page is done. As are the next two that I'm going to show you. And see, here's the back. That can be something else, or I may or may not do something with the back. Look, see, I've just torn it all off. This one is the one that we did. We took the girl, just this part right here. We took her out of this book here. And let's see, I think there's duplicates. I think maybe not duplicate. I don't know. I don't remember if she duplicated them or very similar. But I think we're going to take another girl out of here to do another napkin journal page. But I love this book. And it's the big monster, Juliet Crane. And the pages have a satin feel to them. They have a satin. So I don't know. I haven't really tried to do a whole lot of blending on these. I did mostly paint because it had a satin finish. Can I be cheeky and ask for one of the pairs? Yes, Sandy, you can. You want one of the pairs? You want one of these? I'll send you a couple. I'll send you one of these or a couple of these. Because, yeah, Kim sent us a lot. Okay. Let me get it out over here. Because I'll forget if I don't put a tag on it. I'll forget. All right. So what I was saying though is this book is kind of got a satiny feel to it, so it's best to paint, to me. It's best to do like a watercolor, a acrylic paint wash on these. Although just test it. There's pages in the back. You know, you can test out what you can or can't do. Kimmer, can you email me that request? Because I otherwise I'm gonna. If y'all want, really want a napkin, I don't think I have a poppy one left. The poppy napkins from 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, at least 4. So I don't have any of the poppy napkins left. But email me, guys, because otherwise I'm gonna keep stopping my project to do Post-it notes. So yeah, just email me and tell me. Okay, thanks, guys. I don't mind sending them, but you gotta just email me. It's much easier for me while I'm streaming. Okay, so we're gonna pick something out of here, I think, to do one with a napkin or two. Maybe we'll use this one, and I'll have to look at the colors on the other one. We'll see. I've got tons of napkins. I do try to share them, but yeah, I do not have any of the poppy ones. But I'll look up there and see what we have. Okay. If you're not talking about this one now. This is a separate napkin than the poppy in the napkin journal. I don't know if I have any of these left or not. If this is the one you're talking about. If you're talking about those big poppies in the napkin journal, I know I don't have those left. Those were from years ago. Okay. So what we did is this is all napkin here. That's a piece of a floral from a calendar. There's just a watch part there. This is all napkins down here. Okay, it's probably a couple of different ones. A couple cuts from the napkin. See how they repeat? So this is probably a couple of cuts. Yeah, on the Silky Color books, Colleen. Do you have this one? I'm sure you probably do. Knowing Miss Colleen. Yes, thank you very much, Carrie. If you email me, guys, if you would like to be on my art card list or whatever, tell me your Ustream name too. Like if your name is like Sandra here and your real name is Kim, just throwing that out. Nothing on Kim. I'm just saying. And your name is totally different. I'm not going to have a clue who you are if I don't know, if we haven't emailed each other. So please do. Thank you for thank you for saying that, Carrie. All right, so again, we did this one and then just added some paint. It wasn't there's really not a lot individual things going on. This one's recorded, so you can see how we did this, okay? And again, there's the back. It's from another, this is a napkin right here that we just glued down probably just to show how to match colors or something. I don't even remember. All right, this girl is out of, let me get the book. She's out of the coloring studio. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. She's out of the colors, and there's no duplicate, so I can't show you. But this is the Somerset Studio Coloring Studio book. I've only done a couple things out of it because, there's so many color books, so little time. Oh, you're buying that one today? And so you can see I did this jars here. Who was it that just did these? Debbie Boring. And Debbie Boring's, she didn't put drips on hers, but hers, oh my gosh, looked awesome. She posted it on Facebook. I don't know if she's still here, but Debbie Boring, your jars looked awesome. She said, well, they didn't look like glass to her. I would say if you wanted to give it like a glass shine, just throw on a couple white highlights. Throw on a couple white highlights to make it look kind of like glass. But anyway, so this girl was out of here. And it's an awesome book because it not only has color book pages, but they have things like shading and highlighting basics, simple binding techniques if you're making a book. I think this is where I tore the girl out right there. Here's another girl's face. So there's all kinds of awesomeness in this book too. And it's like I said, if you know anything about Somerset Studio or Art Journaling Magazine, or you know that they have a lot of good information and stuff in it. So yeah, that's what it looks like. You might have to order it from Somerset Studio now. I don't know that it's on the magazine rack anymore, but you could, it's easily found at Somerset Studio, or is it Stampington? Stampington's the publisher, but it's a Somerset Studio coloring, the coloring studio. Okay, so let me put that to the side. So she's out of that. So we colored her, I didn't take a lot of time to color her because I wanted to put her in here. So she's not as blendy and stuff as I love, but. So here's napkins. All this is napkin right here. That was part of the design on her face. And it had some of these little extra little like beady things on her face in the book, but I wasn't about to try to fussy cut that out. So I just cut her out here, right? Cut her out and hand drew all the rest of the little beads on top here. So just because you're cutting something out of a color book page and it's very fussy, like let's just say some vines, you don't have to cut all those vines out. You're fully capable of doing a little swirly. Trust me. Yes, they will have a second book come out. Thank you, DeMonte. They did have a call for people to submit to it, so I think that's all closed, though. But, yeah, because I did announce that a while back. So they have a second one coming out in early June. Yeah, that was the first edition. Got some, I don't know if it's my Sharpie but I got some paint ink or something on me. Okay, so napkins down here. You see how it duplicated the napkin folds, so just added a couple there. So that's all napkins. This is some, I was going to say stencil, but it's not a stencil. It's it's this old foam stamp, because it needed some purple there, because I think I accidentally covered up, there's some purple and I glued her on top of it. So because I accidentally covered up the purple, I got this old foam stamp out and added some purple dots to it to tie the purple in. Again, this one's on, there's a video of this. There's a video for this. And you can buy it on Amazon, Kimmy said. Okay, thanks. I don't, Sarah, but lots of people do. Sarah's always asking if we read blogs. I don't, because I don't have time. I keep up with videos first. Now, let me put it this way. Darcy UK, if she has a blog post for the stamp company she works for, Paper Artsy. Is it Paper Artsy? Is that the name of the stamp company? Anyway, I will read an occasional blog. I'm just speaking for myself. But that doesn't mean that blogs are not totally popular with different topics, genres, different, I personally just do not have time to read blogs, except some of the people that I personally have known for, years. I make a point of reading their blogs. My own personal blog, inkywell.blogspot.com. I've never been a writer on my blog. It's just been picture posts for the most part. But I've had my blog for 10 years, and I still post to it. I try to at least post to it once a month. But I don't write. So if you're asking if people read like written blogs, they probably do a lot for different, if they're interested in a certain topic. Like, for instance, let's say you're into miniature railroad collecting. I don't know why that just came to my mind. Just, I'm sure there's tons of people that are in that type of community that will go read blogs about that. Darcy UK does, she's on design teams. Am I right? Is it Paper Artsy, guys? I'm so sorry for the Paper Artsy girl, the owner of Paper Artsy, if that's not the name of the actual name of the company. But Darcy designs stamps for them. And so she'll have blog posts and things. So I will read blog posts from certain people. I'm just speaking for myself. So I guess it depends, Sarah, on what it is, how interesting you make it. But I just seem to hang around with people that watch videos more than read blogs. But that's just me. That's just me. Maybe some of the girls here will tell you whether they read blogs a lot or watch videos. Hey, Miss Allie, it's been a while since I've seen you too. Hope everything's going well with you, school. So, but that's a good topic for discussion. Of course, then there's Vicky BR, not Miss Vicky B. Alligator Vicky BR says the last time she posted on her blog was May 2012. My blog has really never been about writing. It's always been about, posting artwork or pictures or things like that. But I just had my 10-year blog anniversary a couple months ago, maybe November. Yeah, I just see that more people are watching videos than vlogging or blogging. They're vlogging rather than blogging. But that doesn't mean that if you are interested in a subject, you're going to get, written information is invaluable in some things. So, but that's just my, view. Okay, so I have a calendar. I showed this to you. I had a calendar that had all these quotes, and I just glued this down for a sample. I'm, again, not one to use many words in my mixed media art journals. If I'm writing, it's in a written journal, and if I'm arting, it's in an art journal. I don't write in my art journals. But I wanted to just put some words on a page just to say, how it can look cool. And this was out of a calendar, and they had different quotes in it. Well, what I'm doing with that quote book is I'm cutting all the words out. I did keep a couple quotes. Let me see, what do I do with that? Organizing here. See where I put it. Where did I put it? Oh, guys, I have a stack of stuff here. Where did I put it? It must be over here. Ah, no, that's not it either. That's a different folder. Okay. Well, anyway, I have a folder. I have a folder where I'm cutting out the words. Oh, here it is. Rather than using the quotes like they are, I'm taking the calendar apart, and some of these are stickers that one of y'all sent me too. I forget who sent these to me. Anyway, but they're similar in style. They're similar in style. These stickers are to the calendar pages. So the calendar pages look like this. Okay, it's just one of those $3 calendars that I got at Books A Million. In February, all their calendars go to, Pack or Die. Don't go anywhere. I got something to show you. So what I'm doing, rather than using them like they are, I'm cutting them all apart. So I'm cutting the words apart so that I can mix them up to a different wordage. So yeah, I got a folder of those. Nothing's really been done with it other than what you just saw. That's as far as I've really got on that. But this was out of that calendar. What I was going to say is the different birthdays this week, but I saw Pack or Die, and I don't think she saw it. I don't think she saw it because she would have commented, I think, if she would have saw it. Okay, well, I'm going to say it real quick. So anyway, Pack or Die's birthday's this week. She has a card coming. She may have already got it or get it today. But Pack or Die posted, she does mixed media, y'all know. She loves her golden cobalt teal, right? She's out of it. She showed the squeezed up tube. She posted a picture of a squeezed up tube of cobalt teal because they no longer make. Oh, you did, Pack or Die? Okay, that's all right because I haven't been back because I've been streaming all morning. Well, I happen to have one last tube of cobalt teal. That I'm going to send you, Pack or Die, because bless your heart, she loves this stuff. And a lot of people do love it. It's still movable, so it's still good in there. But I've hoarded this, and it must have been hoarded for you, Pack or Die, because they discontinued the cobalt teal. So this one's going to you, Pack or Die. So happy birthday, Pack or Die. Okay. So anyway, yeah, because I know she loves her, a lot of people love the cobalt teal. And again, I'm not going to say, I know somebody that's hoarding some of that. I don't think she's here right now, but I know someone that hoards that stuff. She's probably got a lot of tubes of these. I won't mention her name because everybody will be hitting her up for it. But I had one tube left, so it's going to Pack or Die. Okay, so back to this now. All right. Oh, yeah, we did two, I guess. I guess we did two of these. But anyway, this is different places where I've glued napkin in here just to show you you know, how you can start a napkin page. That's a stencil there. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, Carla. I don't even know she's still here, but Carla would be the one to want me to go through this whole thing again. But all this has been done so far is smack and dragging, which is taking and smacking and dragging it through your paint, and then having some napkins added to it. That's all I've done. Now I kind of like this, but I did want to show how to do a napkin. But I'm really liking this too to use because it has that. Because of these girls in here, this seems conducive to these girls. So I might do a page on this, but I do want to show how to glue a napkin anyway. So we're just going to at least show you how to glue one down. Even if we don't actually work with this napkin, I still want to show you. Everybody probably knows. Oh, yay! Thanks, guys. I had 116 viewers. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, but for a daytime stream that starts at 6 a.m. California time and 9 a.m. Eastern, that's a lot. Okay, so anyway, what I'm going to do is let me get, I think I still have enough in my Joy bottle here, but I do use golden matte medium in different jars here. So you can get it in different sizes. It looks like this, golden matte medium. It comes in different size jars, right? I put baggies on the lid so they don't glue themselves shut. But Sunset Carol, when she visited me, brought me a dishwasher bottle. Now, this is not the original one. I've had this since, because they do get clogged up after some time. But any dishwasher bottle that you can just take the lid off, put your matte medium in, pop the top, and then you can squeeze out. See, I didn't close this last time. There we go. I might have already messed this one up. Let me get my pokey tool. When I stream, I'm not as careful to do certain things. And then I've almost run out here. All right, I gotta fill the bottle back up. But as long as you make sure to close this well, cap it closed, it's much easier to use your matte medium out of a squirt bottle than it is the jar lids, you know, taking the jar lids off and making sure you put the baggie back on, or, you know, so it doesn't glue itself shut. Okay, so I'm not going to, Blondie likes to see napkin collage. Well, I'm not going to use, I think I'm going to use this one today just because of the branches on it are conducive to the girls with the branches in their head, right? I think I can fit one of these on here nicely, maybe even her. Look, see what I'm talking about? See what I mean, Vern? See how she could be incorporated into this page? But I wanted to show you how to do it now. And then Jean and Jean might say Jean might say I saw that someplace else, but I saw it from Jean, where you take a piece of double-sided tape because you want to remove the backings off the napkins. And if you take it and stick a piece of double-sided tape to it, you can separate the, oh, I think I got it too close to the edge. There we go. You can separate the napkin backings real easy with a piece of double-sided tape. I saw it from Miss Jean. I don't know where she got it from, but that's where I got it from. Okay. So I'm going to peel off the back of this napkin. Sometimes they have 2 layers. You want to take them all off. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, if you don't take this part off, the glue is not going to get in between those layers. So you're only going to be gluing this part down, and you won't be gluing this part down. It'll only be gluing this. So you want to make sure that you pull this off. The other thing, too, is if you're going to use a napkin on any kind of painted background, it's best if you start with the white of your paper or minimal paint, because the difference, and let me get a dark picture here. The difference is, look how vibrant these colors look on the white, all right? If I tried to glue this napkin on a piece of black, look. See how dull that is? So be aware that when you're doing napkins, sometimes you might have branches in your head. Oh my gosh. Hey, Garjic. So see the difference right there of gluing something? If you glued it on black or dark, or if you glued it on white. See how vibrant and pretty these colors are? Not that you can't do things with it this way too, but you want to be aware that if you're gluing something down on paint, it's going to dull it. See the difference? Okay. All right, let me move this napkin journal out of the way. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I got piles of books right next to me and no room to work. Okay. So let me take a sip of coffee here. We're already an hour in. We're still just gabbing. But we show a lot of ideas. So even if we're not actually doing a project here, guys, I feel like we're, we got inspiration moving along, right? All right, so maybe I want these words on here, maybe not. Because I'm just kind of going with these colors is why I picked this particular page. But I do know I don't want the Eiffel Tower upside down. So I'm going to cut that off. I always like to tear my collage elements apart when possible, but napkins don't tear well. They shred. Where did you get the owl stencil? Somebody sent it to me. I think it's a hand-cut stencil, but I can't remember. The owls, see, remember that book. This is one of the problems with showing old stuff. That was like from 2011. My memory's not that good. I can't remember who sent it to me. Someone sent it to me, so. And I have another owl sheet that I think I got at Joann's, but I don't know if they're one and the same. Yeah. But little book owl, I guess you would be asking. All right, so let me go ahead and show you a few different before we glue this down. And I think I want this maybe, I don't want it all the way to the bottom because this is going to be incorporated like this. But I don't want, if I keep the word right here, which I may or may not end up being covered up. Now let me trim it down a little because it's a little bigger than my page that I want. I mean, I don't want it like hanging off. So I'm going to put that right there, but you can take other bits of your napkin that you cut the upside down part off, right? And start laying them in and build this up, right? So maybe I don't want a blank space there. So I could take maybe one of these butterflies here, have another butterfly floating this way. And now I'm using book, it has like a faux book text behind it. You got to be aware of that. So if you don't want just one place having book text, you could either do it straight on so that the text is running correctly, or make sure you put it other places so that it kind of coordinates. That's just me. You can do, I mean, there's no rules. There's no rules to this, guys. It's just whatever looks pleasing to you, right? So I'm just thinking about doing a whole garden thing here. And when it, in the end of it, I might end up putting, one of these kind of girls on here. But I just want to show you how I'm going to glue it down. It is at Joann's? Yeah. Well, I think I got one of the owl stencils through Joann's. But it's been years, guys. Yeah, and I do want to show you some of the other napkins that I do have. But I keep my glue brushes in water. All my glue brushes are kept in a water jar. Just my glue brushes. No other brushes are kept in the glue water. But it keeps them pliable. And I only use them for glue, nothing else. So when you're gluing napkins down, you do got to be a little, you only get one shot. Some papers you can move around a little bit, Once you set them down on the glue, you can pick them up and kind of slide them a little. Napkins, you really can't do that. It's kind of a one-shot deal, okay? And once they get real saturated, they're going to start tearing. So don't keep doing, look, let me show you. See how that tore? You can't be like over gluing your napkins. You just want to kind of do it, put your glue down, put your napkin bit down. Go over it gently, once like this. Don't be going cray on it because you'll be tearing it. All right? And I know I'm not showing you guys things you probably haven't seen before. And when I tell you all the steps, I don't mean to sound like, doesn't she know we know how to glue? Well, it's not that I don't think you know how to glue. It's just that I'm talking out what I'm doing. So I'm talking out my process. I'm not trying to insinuate you don't know how to use a glue brush, okay? I don't mean that. I don't think you know how to use a glue brush or use how to glue stuff down. Okay, it's like Boo when she went into pre-K and they gave her some glue. Where's my Eileen's tacky? You know, it's like, what's this stuff? What's paste? What's school paste? You know, so I'm almost out in that jar there. All right, so I'm just going to kind of glue this down. Now, before you want to add paint to this, you're going to want to make sure it's dry. Okay, you want to make sure it's dry. So hit it with the heat gun or let it sit overnight. In my case, I'm just going to I'm not going to close the book on it, right? Because then it's going to be glued to here. But I just wanted to show you that's how I glue napkins down. No big deal. You like that booster? So then, you know, if we used one of these girls, we can just lay on top. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to set this one aside. I'm going to color that page, paint that page real quick that we're going to use on the other page, but we'll set her on here just so you can see a different view. So let me set that page aside right now, put my glue brush away. Now, when I do glue things on like we did over here, okay, when I glued her down, or when I glued her down, I just used my Eileen's tacky on the back of her. Okay, I just spread with my finger Eileen's tacky on the back of her. I did not cover her with matte medium. I had already glued down, maybe I glued the napkin on top of her, maybe I incorporated it. But if you're going to go over the top, and I think we just used acrylic paint, so it was okay. But if you're going to use any kind of wet media like watercolor, neocolors, dilutions, or anything like that, if you try to go over the top of it with a matte medium, it's going to smear. So you want to make sure you test your stuff to make sure you know what's going to happen when you layer this stuff up. Okay? Okay, yeah, Carrie, you can go ahead and kick that person out. You can just kick the troll. We don't have too many trolls, but yeah, Carrie, you can get the boot on. Okay, so let me show you some of the other napkins. So I've even had some of y'all send me some that have been took the backs off of them for me. But I do have a couple other ones, like this one I'm saving to use here. This Magnolia one. See, this is another one that would be awesome to use with these girls, right? So you see, there's all different kinds. And then you can cut it in half, use this. Hang on, let me tell Hubster I'm still streaming. Hey, I'm still streaming. I saw you in there. Everybody made me quite aware that you were visiting. Okay, bye. All right. Now, look at these flowers right here. And if you use these as we can talk about it. We can talk about that off show, Sarah. Okay, so but look how pretty this pink. Now, I know the camera's distorting the colors, but this hot pink color. So you can get your color inspiration off of the napkin. Like this would be a beautiful hot pink, olive green, and a cream color. Those three colors would be awesome together. So let me get the olive. Let's go with more of the olive and a, okay. So look right there. Look at that. Well, that looks yellower than it actually is on camera. It's called moon yellow. It's a little bit yellow on camera than it is, but see if you will put these kind of colors down in a little swatch book, your color combinations. And also let me say this as far as to find good color combinations if you're not sure. Let me think of what book I put it in. Give me a second. I think it's this little one. I know, I got tons of organizing books. Yeah, so yeah, this is one. So if you do not know some color inspiration or combinations, look at seeds, design dash seeds. Is it .com or .org? I think it's .com. Design dash seeds.com. And every day they give you a swatch chart with a photograph, okay? And you can get your color combinations. You can get color combinations from those. Now, I think I took most of the color combinations out of this book and put them in the big book. Looking again, guys, one moment. Because remember, I'm reorganizing. I'm reorganizing my idea notebook. So, I'm still in process of reorganizing my 3-ring binder, right? So I can't remember every single page of every single idea yet, because I'm still doing it. I'm still in process. I think it's in the other one. I think it's in this one. But I wanted to show you some of the other design, some of the other design seeds combinations. If I can find them, because I'm in process. Here we go. I'm in process of doing them. So some of the color combinations are in. This is my old one, right? This is my old one. So some of my color combinations are in this one. See, we talked about those same colors right there. So. Yeah, design seeds on your Pinterest board, Trina said. Yeah, Trina said, Trina put, it's your name exactly that on Pinterest, Trina Pat, TRENA PATT. She says she has the design seeds combinations on her Pinterest as well. But you can get, there we go. You can get them sent to your email. You can get every day, they'll send you 2 design seed combinations. These are some of the ones that we have done, just some quick little color ideas, color combination ideas here. And I showed you how to mind map some color combinations. We've talked about, I never remember how much we talked about one thing or another. But like here, I'll just go back to this. So we had salmon, orange, and grape is what we named those 3 major colors. I had different shades of them, and you could name all the shades if you want. But if you mind map, like for instance, if you mind map out orange, you have Fanta orange drink, pumpkins, harvest, tangerine, sunshine, sunsets, gourds, the season of fall. So these are just some of the things that and then we showed how you can take some of those ideas and make a card, make a painting sketch, an idea. So, yeah. Again, if you name your colors, or if you find them on paint chips that already have names on them, you can name them the same names as the paint chips, or you can make something similar. Like we have tangerine, spring grass, a stormy sky, robin's egg blue, olive, and canary peeps. But if you took those ideas, a stormy sky, grass green, we use it as the word with the word daily, but you can make you an inspiration card, an inspiration page, an inspiration sheet in your journal, where you're playing with those colors. Because remember last week on the inspiration show, I said everybody should get them just a small composition book, swatch the colors, and name them, or not just name the colors, but put down everything that is that color. And if you list everything that's those colors, you'll have tons of ideas and with different color combinations. But these are color combinations from design seeds. But we just played with it as far as naming them ourselves and stuff. So again, these are all just different pages with different color combinations. So if you keep sheets like this, you're never going to run out of ideas for color combinations. It just so happened that this one needs to go into my other book. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see behind me. It was like a whole nother room back there. So if you want to do it smaller, and if you want to do it something bigger than this, but smaller than a big old 3-ring binder, get one of these small binders like this. Okay? A small binder like this. These are some different ones that we've had ideas from. And you can do the same thing. From yellow, we've got like butter, corn, butterscotch, cookies, bread, a butterfly, churn. Then that can go into churning. From churning, you could think of farms or old-timey vintage farms and barns, and that can lead to cows. I mean, it can lead, you can just like all her book journals, a museum. Should go. So you can see, different color combinations. From a butterfly, this is just a note we took during stream. I write these things down. Butterflies, use the butterfly wings for fairy wings. Fairies don't have wings. They're just resting on the butterfly's back. So, I mean, that was just something we thought, well, maybe fairies, maybe they don't really have wings. Maybe they're just floating along on the backs of butterflies. Things like that. All this kind of stuff, is just awesome for ideas. So again, you can use a smaller notebook if you want for color. And I think I will keep this one out and do my swatching in something like this than this, for the reason that it shows up better on stream, bigger. So I might keep that out. Okay, so there's another notebook on the floor. Yeah, and you can do it anything. Paper scraps. You can use the paint chip things, like you have paint chips, they're awesome. So here's some of the napkins. Again, this is an awesome one to use. We'll see where we're going with this. Okay, got this one. And again, some of these have been, the backs have already been taken off. So you can see, look how pretty they are. Here's one of just all butterflies. Here's an Easter one. And the different ones, y'all will send me a batch of, look at that one. See, again, that's inspiration right there. So, coffee cups, tea cups. The floral ones are the ones that I enjoy using with the cutout girls, the color book girls. So I just want you to see. And if you go to, Michael's is even selling them now, and they're usually with the collections, like they're like over with, they don't have a lot of home goods, but they're like over there by the bridal section. They'll have some a little bit of party stuff, and you'll find napkins for different occasions that are seasonal, but you can pick up, you can get a whole stack of them for just a couple dollars. And people have done napkin swaps in our group. Do I have an extra sun napkin? Sun napkin. You mean the sunflower? This one? You have to be specific because there's a lag, remember. There's a lag here, so I don't see your chat at the same time you're hearing me. There's usually a 30-second to 1-minute delay. If this is the one you're talking about, it's a sunflower. I'm looking. Oh, okay, wait a minute. This one. The sun one. This one. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Email me. I'll set it to the side, but email me, okay? Because I won't remember who said what. All right, so let me just move on now to a project, because we're an hour and a half in and we haven't done anything. Well, I don't mean that we haven't done anything. Yeah, this one, little book owl. Okay. Okay, let me get, because I'll forget, guys. And I don't know if I have your address either, so make sure you send me your address. I can't send it without an address. Okay, so let's go back to the one we already started here. And because these pages are not any particular thing, I can turn them around, right? So do I want it this way? I think I want it this way more than that way. So I'm going to turn it this way. But I think I'm going to use this page as an inspiration for that one girl. Now I don't remember which one it was. Her, I think. No, it wasn't her. They all have branches. But I can just pick one. So we'll use her. And again, this is the Juliet Crane Big Monster 34 original drawings to color and make your own. And I've shown it before, but it's got all kinds of different girls, different faces. And you can probably follow her on Facebook or wherever. It's pre-peeled. Yes, it's pre-peeled. That's right, Terry. So you can see all the different, it's a whole bunch of different ones. And we did the one page that we've used it before, used out of this book is this page. So this is what we used out of the book, and all the rest is napkins, paint, flowers, and then we hand drew all the little sticks back because we cut it out. We put the napkin over her head, so we hand drew all the branches back in. All right, so now let's move all this on so I have room to work on this. Okay, sip of coffee here. It happens to us, DeMonte, sometimes the video freaks out, and I think sometimes it has to do with your individual internet, your connection, there's a lot of different things. And if you're on a device, it's even tougher, so just saying. All right, so we're going to use her. And I want to use these colors for inspiration. Now, I do want to put something down. My table here is just a black craft paper that I keep wrapping the table over and over until it gets like 10 layers deep. Then I take off the layers and start another again. So it's a little bit cushy, but it is crunchy, right? This is not smooth. So if I start coloring on this, it's not going to be smooth. But I think I'm going to do mostly painting, but let me get a piece of something here. I don't really want that because it's distracting. Let me find something else. Let me find something put under her. There we go. This piece of paper here. I need something thicker. I need a book under it or something. Get a sketchbook. All right, let me get a sketchbook to put under it. There we go. Just something that's smooth because I don't want a crunchy paint. But I'm going to use these colors for my inspiration. And I don't know what else we're going to put on there. I'll probably put some clocks, maybe who knows what else. But I'm going to start with getting her colored in. So the colors that are kind of here are kind of a Payne's gray, but it's not exactly Payne's gray. It's has a little bit more blue to it. I'm looking at my blues. I'm thinking it's kind of, do I want this color? It's pretty good. Calypso blue. We'll go with Calypso blue, olive green, this is a Hauser medium green. These are all Americana colors. That's the kind of craft paint I like. And it's just all craft paint. And we said a cream color earlier. So we'll go with these. We'll just start with these. Okay, so I'm just going to throw some out. Paint scrapers. And we'll just see where it goes. So I'm going to start with watering down some, making some washes to paint her to kind of fit in. Now, you don't have to match her outfit to the thing. You know, you don't have to do any of it. You can do it however you want. It can be totally contrast. You can paint her purple if you want. It's totally up to you. Do I like Hobby Lobby sketch paper? For what I do with it, it's fine. Yeah, this is just that Master's Touch sketchbook. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff going on in this one. So, I have different books for different things. All right, so let's see. I'm telling you, I mean, I got tons and tons of, I've shown my studio. I've got, like I said, what, 10, 15 shelves of just sketchbooks that I've done. So, yeah. All right. And that's probably the bulk of them. Now, some, I'd probably say maybe those top shelves up there that have older sketchbooks up there, maybe 3 shelves. And then I've got probably one full shelf of Moley's that's longer than 5 years ago. But the bulk of all these sketchbooks and mixed media journals I've done probably in the last 6 years. The bulk of them, not all of them. And that doesn't include my sketch, like my drawing books. I don't mean my sketch drawing books, but mixed media journal books. Yeah, we got a lot of them here. I've never tried it, just wondered if it's okay for drawing, just for sketching, you know. Would I do a big old mixed media? I probably would. Would I recommend someone to use this sketchbook for a mixed media project for the first time they've ever mixed media? No, because you're gonna have to be fighting thinner paper because it's thinner. I mean, it's only 60 pounds. It's not, you know. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me get my water. I did get fresh, clean water yesterday. Get a brush. Because we're going to paint her first. Now remember, this is on a kind of a satiny paper. It's still thin, paper thin, but it's one-sided. But we're going to do a light wash. I'm not going to like load it down here. So just take it easy. Just get a small brush, and I'm just going to start with painting her this kind of a yellowy color, just because I want her to kind of blend in, right? Now, if you don't do a wash, you're going to cover up all the crayon, all the drawing. So you want to, but I'm using paint on her face, which I usually never use paint on faces. But because it's a satin paper, it's probably not going to take color pencil well on the original paper. But if I put some paint on it, then I can go over it, right? Go over it with pencil. Now I'm not going to paint the background because that's all going to be, well, maybe I will use a little bit. Let me see how much room I have. I'll go ahead and paint some background, but I'm probably going to tear it out so there won't be much left of it. But I'll go ahead and put a little bit of paint on the background just so that we can tear it out, okay? So I think I'm going to do the background like a nice kind of a blue color. Again, I'm probably not going to use much of this, and you can see this how it's sinking in real quick. You got to do this kind of, strategically, depending on the paper. Every color book is going to be different, guys. Every color book is going to be different. I'm just going to put a little bit of color because I'm going to tear it out. And I'm going to blend her into the background. And then I'll make her kind of the olive green. So I'm just going to slap down some wash here. I'm going to dry it with a heat gun in a minute. Okay, and I'm going to get the olive green color. And let's see, let's do a couple things here. Again, it's a wash. It's watered down paint so that you can still see the drawing underneath. There's a little bit of a rust color. It's not really maroon. It's not really red. It might be a little closer to Napa red. So I'm going to put a little bit of Napa. Oh, didn't want to get that on my shirt. I did not. Okay, so let me put that Napa red back on the palette. Let me get a paper. Let me get a baby wipe. Hang on, guys. I don't want to get this on my sleeves if I don't have to. And clean up this red just a little. It kind of popped out of the top. All right, so let's go ahead, put a little bit of that out. We're going to make her red hair, water that down. Just make her have a red hair. And we'll give her a little red cape. Maybe she's a little Red Riding Hood. Okay. What blue? The blue was it Calypso blue? Yeah, Calypso blue. Calypso blue, Napa red, Hauser medium green for the olive color, and moon yellow, which is really, it's not as yellow as it's looking on camera. So we're going to make her a little Red Riding Hood. Okay, that's all I'm going to add for now in the paint. We can put some color pencil in it later or more paint, but I just want it kind of watercolory looking, right? So now I'm going to take my heat gun and dryer. And you know, there's no guarantee this is going to turn out like I like it to. We're just going for it. This is how I would do it if you weren't here. I would just go for it. And if it doesn't turn out, see, it's thin paper. If it doesn't turn out, it's okay. You're welcome, Miko. But you really want it dry, because when you go to glue it down, you don't want it pulling apart. You don't want the paper falling apart. But we'll see what we can do. So my idea was, though, to tear her out so that we still have a little bit of the blue edging to play with. And then I don't have to fussy cut these horns out, or these tree branches out, right? But you could always just redraw them back in. So just kind of go with something like this. Fussy tearing, which is just tearing kind of carefully. But cut it if you want. It just won't, when you collage things, it just doesn't blend as well if you cut as it would if you paint it. All right, so the blue is not the exact blue of this that I'm not like. I really want this to be more gray blue. I think I'm going to go with, it's not quite this and it's not quite this. I think if I mix these two colors. So I'm going to kind of mix in a little bit of Blue Harbor with that and just kind of just test it, because it's not quite gray blue. It's not like Payne's gray. It's a little more teal-y. So let me just see if I can sort of get that color. Not that I'm going to do it right this second, because I'm going to glue her down next. But I think I can probably get that color close to that color. It's just not quite as bright as this. It's a little bit more of the purpley color. That's closer. It needs a little toning down. Let me add a little bit of the green to it. Ah, there we go. Okay, we got it now. Adding that green to it got that color. So this color, it's the Calypso blue, the Hauser, a touch of the Hauser green into the Harbor blue. I got that. That's it right there. I don't know if you can, you may not be able to see the differences in colors, but that color is that color. This is just light watered down, like watercolory, but that's the color. All right, let me dry that real quick since I'm going to be gluing on top of it. So it's cute already. Oh wait, sorry, my messages froze up a ways back. Fussy tearing, winter blue. Do I have winter blue? Yeah, I think I have winter blue. Is this winter blue? That's baby blue. This is Blue Harbor. This one's, oh, that's not it. See, look, Miko, I have to go through all those blues right now. I don't really want to go through all those blues right now, so it's probably in there somewhere. Or over on my paint cart. A little cart full of paint too. All right, hang on guys, sorry. All right, so now what I want to do is I just want to take my Eileen's Tacky, and the best thing to take is a phone book or some old book. I just have some old phone books. They last forever, right? And just use the phone book to pull glue out on. So I'm just going to put a lot of glue. And I put a lot of glue when I do this, but don't leave it like that. Don't leave big swirls of glue and then glue it down, because those bumps will show through. So smooth it out all the way off the edge. And the reason you use a phone book is because when you get done with it, you just close the book and those pages glue together and you don't have to worry about getting this glue all over your desk, right? Like that. And Eileen's Tacky will roll off your fingers, so I'll do that in a minute. So let's see where I want her. I should have maybe thought about that first. But what I'm trying to kind of do is kind of have her, this be part of her like that. So I'm going to go off the edge a little bit. I don't worry about that. It goes off the edge, but I don't need that there. I can tear that off. We're gonna incorporate her into this napkin, but I'm gonna find some other elements too. Whether it's another napkin, whether it's some more collage-y stuff. But I want to make sure she's nice and glued down. Okay, I missed a corner right there. It's a better color, yeah. Well, anything with green in it you like better, Jean. But I'll get rid of that color too. I'm probably going to mix all of it together. A little bit anyway. All right, so I'm going to cut this edge off here. This is still a little damp there. Let me get another baby wipe. We're going to paint her all in here shortly. Oh, I was going to throw her on top of that other page to see what she looked like over there too. Oh well. All right, so I really want to get most of the bulk of what I'm going to glue down done before I start fussy anything on her. And I could have painted her after I glued her on, because if it's just paint, you know, but again, if I want to add any color pencil, it's going to be bumpy if you get it too lumpy. You ordered a Da Vinci book. I got a book at, and I need to go get some coffee so I could bring it up to show you, Sarah. I did get a coffee table Da Vinci book a few months ago, well, not, maybe less than a couple months ago, maybe a few. A coffee table book at Barnes & Noble on sale for like $14.95. It's a big $50 coffee book. Now, I'm not going to cut it up. I have other Da Vinci books to cut up, right? The cheap paperback ones and stuff I cut up. You know, anyway, we got to start there. And again, we'll incorporate all these branches. We can take some brown paint and make more green leaves. I mean, it's all totally up to us. But I did miss a couple corners in my haste. In my haste to get glue all the way to the edges. I did not glue that. I had to glue down maybe. Okay. But I just like Eileen's Tacky. But you got to kind of rub it down on the back so it's not bumpy. How do you make your mist? With a baby wipe. With a baby wipe. Like, let's make a blue mist. Well, it won't show up there. I gotta get a scrap paper again. Okay. I do it like this. I put it in my hand, like that. And I do that. I just kind of roll it out. Now, this is just a cheap piece of paper here. I don't know that we'll mist this page, but kind of like that. But I do this so that it's little, very, very little on the baby wipe, and you could just kind of almost like get rid of most of it, and so it's just lightly like that. What do you use tacky glue for? What I just did right there, gluing her down. Thicker elements or last minute elements. If I don't want to, all right, let me put it this way. If I don't want to slap matte medium over her, she's got to get glued down somehow. Glue sticks, I love my glue sticks for like glue books, magazine images, stuff like that. But if you're gluing something on a mixed media piece and you don't want to put down matte medium, this is just my go-to glue. I love my Eileen's Tacky. So does Boo. Okay, let's see, what else? So, I'm going to look through my collaging bits. Hang on. Oh, I love these fish. I wish I could get these fish in there. That might be too much. All right, so let me get some collaging bits here. I do need to find a watch part. Somebody sent me some watch parts, so that'll be easy. We got some watch parts here. We got some watch parts here from Christy. So we'll probably use some of those. I got some collage parts on my lap. I got stuff here. But let's go ahead and put, I think I'm going to like, oh, I like that too. Look at that. It's a little different. It's a little different blue, depending on which one I'm going to go with. Let's go with the watch parts. So she sent us all kinds of little watch parts. Let's incorporate them into the tree. No, for my collaging, it's golden matte medium, Mel. I guess you probably weren't here. Maybe you stepped away. For my collaging, it's golden matte medium that I was just using a minute ago to glue the napkins down. So I think they have these little, I'm going to cut some of these down into V's to kind of fit inside the centers of the flowers. And it's very subtle. You won't, you know, these little subtle things like that, you got to kind of look for them when you're, yeah, I'll use Yoo-Hoo glue if it's just really magazine bits in like a magazine, in a glue book, not for my big collages like this. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. I like this. This looks like a stained glass window center. We'll use that. Maybe we'll put that on her. I like this on her. I don't want to cover up her little crown. I'm just picking some things out of here. They're just little decorative elements. That I want to use in the flowers and things. Like the centers. Now, if I'm just using little bits like this, guys, I won't mind just gluing that down with my Eileen's Tacky, because I don't care if that's going to get covered up with a little bit of paint. You know, it just depends on how the point. Here's the main thing with the matte medium. The main reason that I like to use my matte medium, my golden matte medium, is when it's coated on everything and you put paint on it, you can move that paint around. Now, you can't move it around as much on a napkin because a napkin is textury, right? So the paint's not going to slide on a napkin as much as it's going to slide on just plain images. Because I like the matte medium, that's why. My golden matte medium, if it's covered on everything, the paint will move. But if you put, now I could put matte medium over her because there's no water soluble, nothing's going to move on her. But if I did any kind of, anything that's going to move, watercolors, neo colors, you can't put matte medium over that's going to move it. It's going to smear it. Okay. I do like this one little watch. I like a little bit. I think I'm going to put that up here, right there. Just one little, because I might put, maybe I'll put some stars or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just put, I don't know. I'm just going to put that. Okay, so I'm going to stop on that for now because I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to run out of time. My 3 hours, well, 2 hours and 50 minutes or so, I'm going to run out. So let me just quickly glue these down so I don't lose them. So I don't lose them in here. But just a few little images like this. I don't care if the paint, you know, is even if it covered it completely up. It's not a big deal. But in my mixed media journals, when I'm gluing things like, and I know I always keep stopping to show things, but if you're watching this on recording, people ask questions, so I stop and answer questions. So I try to anyway. Okay, so for instance, this one. Everything here, all the collage elements, were glued down with golden matte medium. So after I've glued everything down, when I start smearing paint on it, whether it's with my finger or with a brush, let's just say I put a smear of paint right over those planets. I can take a baby wipe and get rid of the paint completely. If it's not coated with matte medium, some papers you can get it while it's wet. Some papers, once you get the paint on it, it's no going back. But with golden matte medium, it's kind of like a sealer, right? So you can move your paint around on top of everything you've glued down, and it'll move and or wipe away. I try to be as thorough in the questioning and answering as I can be. I try, and I get a teacher's voice. Ask Miss Jean. I can't help it. I just want a little bit of some little decorative elements, and I don't even know if I'm going to use this watch or not in here. I may end up covering it up, but I think a nice dark something. I think I'll have it coming down this way so that I can put the hands coming any way I want. So we'll just go with it that way. Oh, no, y'all aren't yelling if you put it in caps to me, because if you don't put it in caps, I probably won't see it. So if you do have a question for me, put it in caps, for sure. Put it in caps so I see it. I know you're not yelling at me. I know that. Yeah. Okay, so I want this little element right there on her. And, you know, I gotta say, guys, you know, I do rush this process a little bit while I'm on stream, faster than I would rush it if I'm by myself, because I am under a time constraint, right? When you're streaming, you know, you have a 3 hour, a little less, 3 hours at a time. Now, of course, I can always hit record and start another project. I mean, continue on. And sometimes I have to, because I can't get it done in 3 hours, right? But I try to, try to get it done as much as I can. All right, so let me move these little bits. And let me go into my collage folder here. Because I'm thinking now, I don't think I have any more of this napkin. I'd love to have a little more of this napkin to put right here to kind of bring her into this little garden area. Oh, you were yelling at somebody else? Oh, okay, well, go ahead, Terry. Go ahead, yell at somebody else. But I don't know that I have any more of that particular napkin, so I'm going to look through my collage stuff. I don't know yet. Maybe some fractals. Maybe we need some pretty fractals. Maybe we need to pop a color. That might be too much popping a color. Oh, geez. I'm just flipping through here and looking. See what inspires me. Ooh, some map paper might be good. where's Carrie? Carrie, just whip me over some map paper. Look at this little bit of building. That's cool too. I think I'll keep her in the garden though. I won't put her in a city. Put her in the cityscape. Just flip it. Oh, now here's a cool fractal. This is now it's too orange. Let's see. I'm doing some fractal flipping. You just call I know, Terry trouble. You're just causing trouble. Let's see about some of this blue. That's too blue. I could paint over it. I could paint over some of it. Just saying. I'm kind of liking this up here. We can change our mind. I don't want any of this dark stuff here. I just like this bit right here. I'm liking that. I might have to get another watch because I really want to bring that down. So I'm going to need another big watch part right there. Although that's kind of cool, just bringing that in there. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to get the matte medium back out for this because I do want to be able to paint over this. Let's see, maybe if I tear it like this. So it kind of go like that. I'm just liking this. Liking this a bit right there. I know. Oh, question. Do you ever just seal the pages with only matte medium? No, I do seal it with, yeah, like this, the book that I just had out, this one. This page is sealed. This one right here, that's got the ceram coat. Yeah, that's varnished. It's varnish, okay? Let's distinguish it between matte medium. Golden matte medium to glue. Ceram coat, indoor, outdoor. No, exterior, interior, gloss, varnish. So this is varnish. But again, if you're varnishing a page, you've got to make sure you have not used anything that's going to move. Watercolors, you know, you have to seal it with a spray sealer and all that before you can't just put a bunch of wet stuff on top of Neocolor to watercolor, stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to keep these dark fractal bits for something else, but I do like that little bit I cut out there. No, not going to go on her. All right, so I'll save those for later. Let's see what else I got. See, look at these leaves. One of y'all sent me these leaf. They're made out, butterflies are made out of leaves. But look, those are awesome wings. Awesome wings. Just flipping for a minute, guys. Let me flip a little more. Oh, that's a kind of a dramatic thing. Some ice mountains in the garden. Ooh. Let's fussy around these. So, you know, I can't say there's a hard and fast rule for any of it. It's just, it kind of whatever works at that moment. It's just kind of like whatever works. But I think I'm going to put that there and maybe some water, some icy water down here. I got to kind of roll my page out there. So I think I'll put that down there, the blue up here. I got to get crack-a-lacking or we will be into another part. I got about 30 minutes. 30 minutes to finish this. I can't promise you. I can't promise you. This is reminding me of the book you're reading. The Lion. Oh yeah, I've read The Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe. Yeah. Been a long time, but yeah. Okay, here's some clouds. Let's see, some clouds and water. Anything pretty in there. Or the weather calendar. Where's my weather calendar? Let me look for it. Let's see what I can find in the weather calendar. Some clouds or some lightning. I don't know. She doesn't look like she needs any lightning bolts. Some pretty clouds. Okay, I think I'm going to, let me just get one nice big watch and we'll move on because I'm going to run out of time. And again, I'm not sure if I kind of like almost the leaf underneath. I'm kind of liking that. But I do like a nice watch part here and there. All right, we'll leave it like this. All right, so now I'm going to get out the matte medium again. My glue, another glue brush here. My matte medium on a little tray. I need to fill my little bottle up. This is golden matte medium. It's just not in the jar. Golden matte medium. I just put it in here because it's easy. All right, so let's go ahead and glue these down right here. And when you glue with matte medium, what I do when I glue with matte medium is put it on your substrate, on the back, and over the top. And then what I do is take a card. Just had one. Where'd it go? That one's too crusty. Let me get a less crusty card. And just take a card and smash it all down. Now, if you're going over some napkins, you're probably going to have a little bit of wrinkle because the napkins are textured, right? But you can get the bulk of it out. Okay, and I'll trim that off as soon as I hit it with the heat gun. All right, so let's go up here. See, I've already glued that watch down, so I'm just going to go over it. Okay, on the back. And then over the top. We only got about 30 minutes to turn this into her little world. Smash it down with a card. So again, this is what we're using to show napkins. This is the napkin one. Oh, my thing didn't lock down. Hang on, guys. Hey, kangaroo, babe. Oh, y'all have some cute names. Nice to meet you. I'm Dee Dee. All right, so I'm just kind of scraping off the excess. Is there anything else I wanted to glue down? I guess I limited myself on this one. Okay, so I'm going to put my brush back in the water. Let's dry this. So we're going to blend it all in, hopefully. Put a couple clouds, some water down here at the bottom, maybe a few more leaves. When I make a wash of acrylics, do you wet the paint? Yes, I add some water to the paint. And depending on how much, okay, so I missed a little spot right there. Let me glue that down. How much water I add to it depends on what I'm working on. You know. But when I go in here now with my finger and blend paint in, I'm not adding any water. It's just full on right out of the jar. Okay, but I'm going to need some more colors. I'm going to need some black and white. Let's get some white. And this leftover paint's what you want to throw in your Whoops, is what you want to throw into your, something else wet right there. I missed drawing something. Is what you want to throw in your desk journal. Leftover, scrape that leftover paint up. Oh, thanks, kangaroo. That's sweet. All right, so let's see if this is still, it's starting to get a skin over these because he's been sitting here for a minute, but I think they're still good. Let's just play a little bit. Now, see how wrinkled this is getting? It's okay. Just kind of fold it back out. Just kind of, play with it a little bit. This is not thick watercolor paper or anything, Again, that's when I say, if you want to do this mixed media stuff, you probably want to start with, if you're not used to doing it, don't start with something thin where you're going to have to constantly thinking you got to fold your page out, get any, warping out of it. For me, I just know that by the time I'm done painting on it, it's going to be flat, okay? It's going to be pretty flat. It's not going to be 100% flat. It's not going to be like right out of a magazine, but it's not going to be as warped as you think it is right now because it's still a little, I can feel it's a little cold. It's a little damp. So, but you'll be fighting that thin paper, and you don't want to do that if you're not used to it. Okay, let's make sure my chat's locked in. Take a sip of coffee. My throat's starting to hurt because I'm not taking enough time to sip some coffee in between. Okay, let's put this away, all my colors, make some space. Now this is kind of the part that's very subjective. It's, you get a couple clean baby wipes. Totally up to what you see or want to see in it. My thing is I usually start by getting rid of any, white. All right, and if I want to blend this. So let's just say I don't want this stark yellow. I don't want it that yellow. So I'm going to add a little bit of white to it and just blend me out a little bit of off white. The same color as this napkin, right? So I'm going to need more than that. So I'm just going to start plain here. And I'm just going to start plain and blending. Get rid of the white. And then I'll start deciding what I want things to go and be. And here's, again, watch this. This is why the baby wipes, okay? Let's say I put some white there. I don't want white there. That's covered with matte medium. Bam! It just comes right off. And you can take a baby wipe and pick up your paint and blend it with that too. So right now I want it a little thicker than what the baby wipe is giving me on this side. But I can go over this napkin here and bring a little bit more yellow into the napkin if I want. But I really want it kind of thick. Okay, and this is just where I was testing those paints. I'm going to bring the blue around, so I'm not going to worry about that. But it's pretty thick. When you see me doing finger painting like this, it's like straight on. I don't even know if you can see how much is on my finger. And again, you're going to have to you'll get the hang of it the more you do it. But it does, I'm not saying you're just going to pick this up and like, oh, there we go, I got it tomorrow. It takes a little, you got to do some. Got to do some. Now, again, here we go with the blue. There's two shades of blue and the green. Do I want to even mess with that now that I've gone to another blue? Because I'm going to go more with this blue too. So I can probably do both. So I can probably just get away with picking up all the colors of blue and start blending. Maybe a little black right along the edges here. So we're going to we'll make it a whole star system up there. And if you get it where it doesn't look blendy enough, take your baby wipe and just kind of blend it. You can do a lot with the baby wipe. I'm telling you, a baby wipe is a good friend in mixed media. Oh, especially if you got matte medium on there. So I just take it a little section at a time and start just kind of looking at the whole thing. But I usually try to get rid of the white first. So I'm going to go to a lighter. And you do have to kind of keep changing baby wipes. Okay, I got a drop of something there. I saw it fly. You want to keep, you have to, you go through a lot of baby wipes. Because otherwise you're just like taking that black paint and making mud. So you want to keep moving the paint. So what I'm trying to do now, there's black on there, so I want more of a glow. So I got a clean area here, and now I can go in here and blend out a glow. Can you see the glow? Is it glowing for ya? Sorry guys, I have too much fun. And if it gets too yellow, I want to kind of back that up a little bit there. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, so you can start to see. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more yellow. Where did I put it? There it is. Yeah. But yeah, I don't mind questions at all. But yeah, I do want to say again, if you're watching the recording and you keep hearing me answering questions, it's because I'm talking to a live chat. Alright, so let's get a little just dark going around the edge here. Again, you can just blend it in. But there's a napkin there now. It's still a napkin under there. You got to kind of, be aware when you start rubbing down too much here. I want it kind of like a misty garden, like, it's like you're peeking into a little bit of her world. But I want to keep it a little bit more blue, I think, in here. I want to keep it blue and yellow and green. Thanks, guys. And then if you want to put more, like let's say I want to put more light yellow here. If I just pick up more light yellow and start trying to make that light, it's just going to muddy it up. It's going to just blend. So if you don't want to blend and you want another layer of paint, you got to dry it. Okay, so I'm going to dry that there so I can add lighter colors on top. And we're going to add our own branches and stuff, So now, because I've dried that, I can go in here with a brighter yellow and white and get those lights back. Uh-oh, froze for a second. Hang on, guys, I froze for a second. Let's see what's going on. Oh, I think I just had some mail. So you can go back in here now with light on top of the dark. Because it's dry, you're not going to be blending those colors. You're adding another layer. Okay, so I can come back in here behind some of this. And I don't know if I'm going to make this misty, cloudy, a little of both. Back behind here. I'm going to kind of come around here. Just depends on how I want to edge it. Don't want the blue coming into the yellow, but I think I'm wanting the clouds to kind of come, or the misty bits to come out over that. So you got to just decide which way you're going to do it. Okay, let me come over here. I think I will just go ahead and let's get rid of the blue. And you don't have to do it with baby wiping your finger. You can always go in here with brushes, which I'm going to go in here with some brushes for the tree branches. Yeah, this is, trust me, this baby is 20-something years old. Paula has one too. They don't make them like this anymore, I'm telling you. These, I think it's Marvy Uchida maybe. They don't make them like that anymore. They don't last like they used to. All right, so now I think I'm going to go back in here with the blues. Maybe lighten it up just a little with some white. And a little bit of the blue, some more white. I'll have to get some more paint out. All right, let's see what that color is going to be. It's too dark. Need more white in there. Okay. And again, I'm going to hand paint in some of this stuff. I'm just kind of getting rid of some of the white right now. Trying to get some color in there. All right, let's go back in here with some blues. A little glow back in here. It's quite thick, guys. It's really, there's a lot of paint on my hands. I mean, because you can dry it. Doesn't matter. You can get it thick because you can dry it, right? Trying to blend her in a little. We'll add some of these leaves I'm painting out. We can go back over and put them back in. So we're putting her in her own little world. Now, I want to tie some of the darker up here, down here in this water. So let's see, I'm going to need a couple more. I'm almost out of this blue on the palette. Need a little bit more of that blue, Harbor Blue, mixed with the tealy colors. A little bit darker here. Let's just make this a little darker. Some white. Pick up some of this. Don't want it quite that black. Let me gray that up a little. Gray that in a little. Oops, gotta get a clean spot on the baby white. It's going to be water down here. It's like a little mountain or something going on there. She's standing up there behind a mountain. Okay, let's get a little bit more of those colors. I think it needs to be brought up a little higher. Don't be afraid to cover anything up either. Don't be afraid to cover anything up. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, so now let's get back in here in this area. That makes it look well, it's possible. I'm not saying somebody said Dee makes it look like it's possible for all of us to do it. Don't feel like you have to go as fast. That's the thing. Don't have to go this fast. I mean, you want to catch paint when it's wet in certain areas, but don't feel like you have to be speeding along like this, because I'm trying to now I'm down to 15 minutes. So I'm really pushing it now. But you don't have to do that. Take your time, right? Take your time. And again, you know, I've done this hundreds of times on the show. So just kind of, and your style's not going to look exactly like mine. You're going to see different things. You're going to want different things. You don't have to make it look, you really don't even want to make it look exactly like mine. You want to make it look like your world. What do you see in your world? More than what I see in mine, right? All right, so I just want to get a little bit of that blended in because I want to put some stars up there. I think I'm gonna have some clouds coming across there too. So let me just go ahead because I love, and I know I use a lot of the same elements. I use stars, water, clouds. What else? Watch parts because I like to indicate time. There's a lot of things that I repeat just because I like them, you know. But, you know, I've done some other kind of things too, but those are just my favorite things to do. All right, I'm doing a little bit lighter right there. I can wipe it back because there's matte medium on it. Okay, so let's just take a look-see for a minute. I think I'm going to dry it so I can put some more layers. It's a combination of both. It's a combination of, I kind of know, like when we started her, I knew I wanted her in this garden because we wanted to use the napkins, right? The other girls that I did the other out of this book is kind of in a garden too. So I kind of go with that. But I also love water, clouds, waterfalls, mist, stars, space, and nebulas. And, you know, so I know I want to add some of the elements I like. Thanks, Juju. But how they come out in each individual piece is not that planned out. Like, I have no idea exactly yet where I'm going to paint those branches back on. Don't know yet. I mean, I can have an idea that I want them going here and maybe here, some more leaves. It's kind of in the back of my mind, but I don't have it like, it's not like planned out like I'll do, you know, something more intricate like a portrait. This is my play. Okay, let's get out some more white. I'm going to put some stars. We'll start doing a few because I'm going to run out of time in like less than 10 minutes. So I got to get crack-a-lack on finishing something here. Okay, so I'm going to water that down. Oop, is that black paint? No, it's just dry. Okay, I was going to say, I thought I got a dry palette. I didn't want gray, I want white. So now I'm going to get a brush that's fluffy. And I'm just going to water down, make some stars here. Or some splatters. It could be in the water. It can be stars, or it could be water splashes, depending on where you put them. And you don't have to do it this way. You can do it with like the Posca paint pen if you want to be more exact where you put it. Use a Posca paint pen, and that's usually what I do to go back in for bigger stars or a shooting star. I'll go in with that, you know. All right, so I'm going to put some like that there. That's too much right there. I can wipe it back. Where's my baby wipe? It's got matte medium on it. Come on, just comes right off. And then I'm going to put some down here. Now I'm going to add more detail in here. But again, I am in a little bit of a hurry because we're getting to run out of time. I don't really want to make a part 2 for an extra, you know, 15 minutes if I can get it done in 15 minutes. So I'm down here. I'm going to try to hold this up. I might want to do, let me get it on my finger. It's probably easier. I might want to do right along this coastline. Maybe we have just a little bit of splashy something going on here. I'm holding it up in the air, so it's a little tricky. I've got to put it down because I've got to put some pressure. Let's get in here with a little bit. Oh. It's a little darker blue down here. Maybe, even a couple of rocks would be good. I'm running out of time. Don't have time for rocks. No rock time. Need some more white. Okay, fresh baby wipes. Go through a lot of baby wipes. I do anyway. All right, let me dry this now. Oh, wait, I want to splatter a little bit more down here. No, let me dry this. Then I'm going to add some more detail in here with more leaves, branches, some clouds up here. Always time for rocks. I wanted to shade her face just a little bit, a little less, have a little bit lighter on there. Maybe a little bit on her clothes. So I just put a quick wash on her. No shading or anything really to speak of. No, I don't. I have used fixative on my pencil drawings, but I don't like to. I don't like the way it leaves an after smell, and I can tell when something's been fixative. I don't usually do many drawings thick enough. Like if I'm doing little sketches at, say, the museum, they're not a lot of heavy graphite, rarely, right? That needs to be fixatived. But I have used it, like on the animals that I did in the big journal. I fixatived them, but I don't like it. I don't like to use it because I have to go outside. I can tell that it's been, I just don't. So the answer is probably no. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Sandy asked me to say hi to her boy, Scott. Hi, Scott. Okay, so again, it's a little warped. I can see it, but it'll flatten out as it dries, and as I just kind of, do a little bit of this with it, it'll flatten out. But all right, I got to get crack-a-lackin', guys. Sorry. You should see this room. Okay. Okay, her. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I wish you could. I need to show you the room. If I have time when we get done here, I'm taking the camera off and showing you what's behind me. I'll show you what my room looks like after a stream. Seriously. Okay, I don't want to do too much here. Maybe just a little bit of lightening up around her eyes, just do a little bit of blending. I'm not going to do a whole lot right here because I don't have time, but I just want you to kind of see. You can go back in and add, a little bit of pencil to her. Maybe a little shading under her hair. So you can go in here and play with a little pencil. Good for a lip color. A little blue on her. So if you're watching, thanks for watching. Thanks everybody for being here. I think I have a record number of people I've had in a day show today. Thanks everybody. Okay, I want my dark green. I don't think I want dark green. I think, oh, that'll be okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of shading here and there. Put an olive. Just add a little bit more oomph to the watercolor that we added. Thought you were going to rearrange your room again. I didn't get to do it this weekend because I had to go to Denise's house. They're going to booze. They're flying out, 3 a.m. to go to the Epcot in Florida, the cheer finals, the big final, So we had to go up there this weekend, so I didn't get to do my room this weekend. Just using a couple shades of green and a little bit of, just putting a little bit of more, right? Keeping it kind of loose because it is a sketchy, her girls are very, sketchy looking, and I kind of want to keep that. I might even go around her with some more sketchy after I get all the branches and everything in there. In other words, like, is that black? Yeah. In other words, after I get the branches and everything, I might just go like around her, kind of make it even more sketchier, like that. All right, let me get the branches in. I think I'll sketch them in real quick with a brown pencil, then maybe go in with some paint. I'm feeling the pressure. Feeling the pressure. To get it done. Get her done. Okay, because I want to go in and paint. These are kind of red, so I kind of might want to go in there with some that red color, but I want to just kind of define where I'm going with them. I think I want this one. I think I'll have that one just come right across the water. That one kind of come across there. I think I want to cover that one up. I have this one branching out. So I'm just doing some kind of rolly branches. Just picking up some of the ones that are already there in the napkin. Remember, this is a napkin, right? But I also want to incorporate her branchy antler thingies before I start putting some clouds on there, because then they'll be covering them up, right? So I'm taking the branches and moving them into her. Can you see that? Incorporating the two together. Maybe I'll add a couple over here since I cut some off. Something like that. Something like that. All right, so now what I want to do is go ahead and get a smaller brush, because I want to get some of this red in here, some of that Napa red. Let me just go ahead and put a little bit more on her head here. Quickly shade. And kind of carry some of them into the branches. I don't know if she's supposed to be Little Red Riding Hood or what, but I want to make some of those branches. I'm bringing the red into the branches. Too much. Too much right there. I'll put some blue back in there, some yellow. Make sure some of those, all the branches have a little bit of red tint to them. Then we'll dry it, put in a little clouds. Beautiful day, always love the color. Yellow makes you cheerful. Yeah, hey Lindsay Whimsy, by the way. Thanks for being here. Gonna wet that down so it's kind of drying out. My paint's kind of drying out from sitting here. But I'll keep working until the clock stops, which might be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But thanks everybody for being here. I will post a picture of it on Instagram. And of course, I'll tell everybody what book the girl's out of. The Juliet Crane, here, where is it? The Big Monster Juliet Crane book. I wanted to swing the camera around so you can see this room. Not that I mind. I usually pick it up pretty quick, but I want you to see how many rabbit trails we go on. You just can't believe how many rabbit trails we go on in 3 hours. Let's be a little darker. Okay, and I wanted to show you a couple of leaves too. Just to add a couple more of the green leaves. Let's see if I can find a quick brush. Let me see if I can do a quick pressure. Is any of that left? Yeah. So you can just add a few little touches, like where they kind of disappeared, and you need a couple more. I'm not going to try to make them like perfect little leaves. I just want to add a little bit in there. All right, so let me go ahead and dry this, add some clouds, swing around and show you the room, and we'll call it done. Although I could do a little bit more shading on her face, but I'm not going to have time. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to add some clouds. Put a bird in the branches. That's a good idea. She's got all kinds of birds, I think, in that book, too. Well, not all kinds, maybe a few. Let me dry and flip. I thought she had a few birds. I mean, it'd be nice to add one of her birds. I'm flipping. She does have moons. You know, I tried to add a moon in the last one. And I can just draw a bird. And if she has one, I'd like to add one of her birds. But I'm not seeing one. I thought, for some reason, I thought she had more birds in here. Or at least a couple. Some stars, some moons, buildings. Kind of an owl. I don't have time to paint him and put him in there. But a little bird would be nice. I'd like to put one of her birds, but I don't see one of her birds. Maybe I was mistaken. Okay. We'll see how much time we have. Let me throw in some clouds. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Was a little hurried, gotta say. All right. So let's see here. What I want to do with the clouds. Let's try to get this in here. See where I want to go, because I want to kind of edge. I'm going to need, okay. Just a little, just essence of something going on up here. Across those fractals. And see, that's why I had to dry and put the branches in first, because I'm going over the top of them, right? Oh, there's a little bit of glue right there. A little bit of my watch has come up right there. On the little owls. You just wanted the little owls from the Curious. Oh, that's a good idea, from the book that Kim sent me. That's a good idea, Vicki. Let's see if I have time to do this and color an owl. Nothing like pressure. Nothing like pressure, Vicki. Right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, but a couple little owls would actually be kind of cute, right? Wouldn't that be cute? Some little owls. And actually she needs a little bit more glow right around her. And remember, I wanted to do a little bit of sketchy around her. Let's see. I might have to add the owls after y'all are gone. If we run out of time, I can stay here and put the owls on for you guys that are here. But I'm not going to start another recording, right? So if you're here and watching the recording and you see owls on this page later, that's why. We added owls later. But if y'all hang around for a minute, I just don't want to start a whole nother recording for an extra 10 minutes or so. You know, and I'm thinking, this needs a little bit of, wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of mountainy thing going on here maybe. Or it could be a wave, or it could be, just needs a little bit more something here. That's a little too much something, but owls would be cute. Yeah, I'm gonna add, so even if the clock stops, guys, I'll stay here with you guys and add the owls, right? All right, so what I wanted to do though was take my pencil. Let me dry her right quick. I want to take and do sketchy stuff on it. With the black Prismacolor. Yeah, the owls flew in later, right, Julie? Okay, so let me put something under it to kind of hold it up, just so you kind of see what I'm doing with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of add some like sketchy stuff, just some real sketchy like lines, see, like this. No particular anything, just kind of following along the perimeter of her, but I can't really do it midair, so, and not quickly either. Mistel does this well. Mistel can add the sketchy lines. That's not me, you know. I mean, I'll do it occasionally, and because I'm using a sketchy girl here. But Mistel, I tell you, she can add a sketchy line in a heartbeat and make it look perfect. If you don't follow Mistel, she's little glimpses. Oh gosh, what is it? Little glimpses. She can do these kind of girls like Juliet Crane here. It does. I'm not, you know, I just don't usually do this kind of sketchy, loose. Okay. All right, hang on, guys. Okay, it's getting ready to stop. So let me show you so far. And I will post a picture on Facebook. I mean, on Twitter. Inky Well on Twitter. So thanks, guys, for being here, and hope y'all got some inspiration and some ideas out of it. So thank you. Or at the time we were doing this was around doing something with a lot of little fairies or something. I forget why we named it that, but had based on something that, yes, I did the bamboo freehand. Thanks, guys. It's kind of like the Chinese calligraphy type thing. You know, you can, anyway. So I made this one and named it Artie Dar Fairy. All the little fairies are stickers. Okay, they're all stickers. The napkins in this case are the palm trees. This right here is napkin. That's a napkin. And bits of the napkins are up at the tops here. Okay. Behind up in here, there's some napkin. And then this napkin and that napkin. All right. Then I cut out some different, this is out of, I forget what magazine, it was a vintage collectibles or something book that I got, you know, one of my dollar books. And then, so that is one there, hanger. And then this hanger with these clothespins, and they look like bridges to me. So we turned this just into a forest, and then we had all these little fairy stickers. And we just, I say we because I did this with everybody here. So when I say we, she was doing fairies in a jar. That might have been what it was, Carrie. Yeah. And that's a piece of collage clock. Y'all know I love my clocks. And it just looked like a little bridge, a little forest. And so I just kind of put the little fairies all around. Did some splattering. I don't think we did any dripping on this one. And turned it into a little fairy forest. Okay. Okay, so there's that one. Then the next one is, let me get, I wish Hubster was here when I get ready to show this other one. But, all right, so this one is one of the places where I had it taped or glued. So it's kind of like where it came apart. So it's got that white there in the spine. But she was a magazine girl. This was a calendar wing, and the wing ends right there. All right, then we had a staircase, and remember I used this bit of staircase in another project, and I said, oh, I remember using that staircase in the napkin journal. Well, this is it. This is it right here. So the wing ends right here, and then we painted the rest of the wing to blend into the staircase. This is a stencil, that's a stencil. So she's my moth girl, and then I put a little piece of a color on her face and colored her hair to match the moth wing. We just called it Moth Girl at the time. And then the background, all that is stencil right there. That's all stencil, the brick. And then we put the watch on top of it, and see, you can see where the stenciled over the top of it. And remember, I use matte medium, so when I was stenciling this, any place that the stencil paint got on top of the watch, I could strategically wipe it away because we love our golden matte medium. Yes, and the praying woman. That's the praying Native American woman. That's where we use that other one of these. Yeah, let me see. Where is this? Let me get the right book. Oh, it's not that one. Hang on. Ah, there it is. I think it's this one. I forget sometimes which book. Oh, is it this book? Yes, it is. Okay. So this is where we used that same staircase right here. But this one is all, other than the feather, there's no, it's just collage and paint. No, there's no napkin on this one. But that's a cameo cutout feather. But look, right here, now we added some other stuff up here. That's another watch part there. But you can see it right in there on this page. Hey there. Yeah, Spidey web. Linda always liked this one too because of the spider web. But there's that stair bit. Okay. And again, let me put her together there and kind of, let me overlap there. So like you can kind of see it like that. And then this is all brick stencil there. So it's stencils and napkins and like a focal point. Not a lot going on these. These are more like wanting to do the technique rather than to really anything further than that. Okay, this one is Bacchus. We did this at Thanksgiving. I think it goes like that. I'm trying to match up the stencil. Goes this way, I think. No, it doesn't. It goes this way. There we go. Okay, so again, napkins. That leaf is a napkin. Yeah, the sparkle Angie Bell was stickles in the glitter. Somebody's asking about the glitter in this one. The glitter is stickles. A couple of colors. I think we use brown, and I think we use some clear too. That's in the dilution. So like I said, these are a little bit more, I'm a little bit more fussy, particular, even though they may just start out like this is the only other one I have done. But this is how they start out, say. Whereas these started out with napkins. These started out with collage. And I'm making these more, in this book, I'm making them smaller collage bits and more detail. As you can see in this one. These are going to be much more detailed. And they're really not sticky. Yes. There you go. Make some of these books. They don't have to be as big as the one I just showed you. They can be any size because you can cut pieces of chipboard to whatever size you want. You can cut your paper down to whatever size you want. So you can make small ones, big. I've got tiny ones. I've got 12 by 12 ones. Okay, I haven't really shown anything else, Carla, since you had an ad. This is all I've got to so far. This one and this one. That's all I've shown so far. Hey, Brooke. Anybody else popping in? Thanks, everybody, for being here. Kimmy. Okay, so I'm just trying to point out the different elements and what we use to make these pages. Okay, again, they're 12 by 12 each. All right. All right, this one, and again, let's see which, this doesn't go with that, I don't think. I think that's a separate, these are two, hang on, let me try to put them together. This one goes with this one. Hang on. Like I said, they're out of order some. Flipping. This was a off-the-cuff rabbit trail showing this book again, so I'm not sure where the other half of that page is. Wait a minute, we'll find it. Where is it? Well, I don't know where the other half of this one is. Okay, maybe I left a couple on the shelf. I'll have to dig them out. But this is another double page spread. But that's napkin in the background there. That's napkin right here. All that's a napkin. Can you see that? What size do I use? What size do I use? Oh, rubber bands. What size do I use? I'll show you. I don't know what size. I don't know a number, if that's what you mean. I use this size. This size. Whatever that size is, right there. I don't know the number. I look at the package and go, oh, that looks good. Yeah. You can get a whole bag of them at Staples for like $3. You know, I mean, I'm talking a big bag. A bag full. But that's the size I use. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what the other half of that is. This is a cutout somebody sent me. And I just had it like cutting the flower, you know. And then there's some stencils, napkin, and just paint. Stencil right there on top of the napkin. Okay. Then the next one, let's go to this one. This goes with this. Let's see which way do they go. I think it goes like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Again, the flowers are all napkins, stencils. And this is, when I did these guys, I probably had, I don't know, you could probably count the stencils I had on my both hands. I did not have a lot of stencils. The girl sent me a lot of, Jean sent me some cutout ones that she'd done, plastic stencils and different ones, but I had very little. I mean, I had a few, but very little that I could really do my mixed media with as far as stencils go. And of course, now I have my Cameo. I can cut out anything, right? You're welcome, Carla. Hi, Island Girl. And Island Girl's another one, but I forget your name from YouTube. What's your name again, Island Girl? I don't want to write it down. I try to keep it on my Post-its, but until I get to, you know, remembering your name. Okay, so the butterflies I think were calendar pages. And then all the rest of this is stencil and napkins. The flowers are all napkins. And these aren't necessarily supposed to be, there's a couple of them that are farther along than others, but I really was all about the process using the napkins. So it was more about the process of using the napkins and trying to really say make something. Hey, Anita K. Still trying to see Island Girls. Joanne. Thanks, Joanne. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the next one, this one doesn't go with that. Hang on. Let me match them up as best I can. This goes with this one. And it goes this way. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. This one went this way, I think. That went, or maybe it went this way. Yeah, it went this way. Okay. They're all taken apart, guys. So, and I only pull them out when somebody wants to see them. Okay. So you can see there's some collage bits over here. Stencil. I think there's some napkin right there. Yeah, I have to feel it. You know, I can feel it. So there's this one. Then this one, let me find this other half. Let me find the mate to that one. That might be the other half on the shelf. Because I think I left one page on the shelf, and that's why there's two that have no mates. So, yeah, this one doesn't have its match. But you can see the stencils there. Oh, yay! Over 100 viewers. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's unusual for me to have over 100 people in the day. You know, thanks, everybody. Thanks. Thanks, Val. And hi, Val, by the way. Suzanne said Tuesday morning she found some plastic protectors, 12 by 12. Yeah, if you found 12 by 12 with different pockets in them, those are Project Life sleeves, Suzanne. Those are from the Project Life system. They come with, did this on stream. We did this about 2 weeks ago. We turned this into this. There's a little rabbit peeking out right there. Okay, so this is just leftover scrape paint, a little bit of collage, and then go in there and turn it into something. Okay. And most of these, I gotta say, most of the ones in this book have not been turned into anything because I'm constantly using this one. I'm constantly using this one to scrape paint off on. This is my go-to desk journal at the moment. Okay, so that's a heavy Big Mama Jamba. All right, so let me go back and show you the old napkin journal. Then we'll get into my newer version of the napkin journal. I don't think that'd fit in there. I guess I could keep them in there because people always ask me about the napkin journal, and it sits on a shelf. It sits on a shelf, and they kind of get stuck sometimes because I weigh them down with other books. But I could just barely fit in here just to have a place to keep these. And again, these get out of order because I flip through them and they're not side by side, so I got to find its match, like this one. Okay, so this one has a match to it somewhere. We'll just flip through it and I'll just kind of turn them as I go because they're all in different directions. What did I use for the cover? Oh, okay, so the cover is just chipboard. So how I make these is usually 3 pieces of chipboard. Chipboard, chipboard, and a chipboard spine. Okay? I usually cover it with pretty paper, a scrap, like this is a piece of scrapbook paper, and then this is a cutout leaf out of a calendar. I duct tape it together. Okay? I duct tape this to this, and then I just glued some washi tape. Now you got to glue. If you put anything over duct tape, if you want to cover duct tape, you're going to have to glue it. Just like washi tape is not going to stick to duct tape because it's so shiny and slick, right? So I glued the washi tape on top of the duct tape just to make it a little prettier. But some of these books that I make like this, guys, I leave them kind of, sometimes, especially if I do them on stream, I'll leave them halfway unfinished so that I can show you what they look like partially done, so you can see the bones of it. And then all it is just signatures of that 12 by 14 or 14 and a half, 11 by 14, folded in half, and then using rubber bands to make a rubber band book. That's all this is. And it's just good for just throwing extra paint in. Okay? Oh, thanks, guys. All right, so let's go back over to the napkin journal. Again, this is one half of it. Now, these were made probably about 2011, way before I was putting anything on YouTube, just when I was just doing new streams. And so what the point of this is using napkins. Using napkins, stencils. I don't think I used any stamps in it, but it's pretty much napkins and stencils. Okay. So, and I'm going to have to see, like this one I think goes this away. So I'm going to have to just kind of fussy flip back and forth because they're not attached anymore and they get out of order. Okay, so for instance, this one. This is a die cut. This is a bird cut out of a magazine. This, I think back here was part of a napkin. And then the rest is stencil and paint on top. That's a flower cut out. So it's kind of like a stencil and napkin. And these are 12 by 12s. So the whole thing is 12 by 24. Where do you get rubber bands? Staples. I get them by the bags. I get bags of rubber bands, and then I keep them in my Joycey, my little Joycey jar. I keep my rubber bands. I'm getting low, and when they start getting low, I have an extra stash of them in a baggie. Well, I won't dig out my rubber bands right now. I don't think y'all need to see that. But I just keep them. This is some little, so like a mini Pringles jar that Joycey gave me with her paper on it. And I fill up, this usually is full rubber bands. Okay, I just keep them on my drafting table. Keep them on the drafting table. Hey, Miss Anita K. So there's that. And in no particular, I'm going backwards here. Okay, so here we go. The poppies and the little mini poppy border are all off of napkins. Stencils, and again, guys, these are like from 2011. Stencil, drippies, napkins, stencils, and paint. So I'll kind of hold it up to you so you can kind of see. See, that's all napkin, 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 napkin. And this is the border off the napkin. Oh, question. Yeah, the rubber bands will dry rot after a couple of years, Vicki. But, you know, I don't care. I'll put a new rubber band. So, yeah, but be aware that, you know, after a couple years, the rubber bands are probably not going to hold up. You don't have to use rubber bands. You can use twine. You can use baker's twine, wrap baker's twine around your signatures 2 or 3 times and make it thick, or just plain twine. You can use ribbon. You can use anything to hold your signatures in. To me, rubber bands are just the easiest to slip things in and out, to go around a binding, a spine, you know. So it's just easier for me. You have reams of paper that, oh, Max sent by mistake. You didn't want to send it back. There you go, Marie. I see some books in your feet. Different size pockets. Yeah. They were, Terry, these were, I bound them myself with tape and glue. But I'm not a bookbinder, and I don't sew. Jean, bless her heart, she was trying to do some. That was crazy, Jean. I couldn't even believe you attempted that project. But anyway, it started kind of falling apart because I've done some bookbinding and some sewing. I don't enjoy it, and I'd rather just do some rubber banding, or twine, or ribbon. Doesn't have to be rubber band. You got it down pat now? Good, Jean. That was a project, let me say. All right, so let's see. I got a couple other ones here. This one goes, and this one's not finished. Again, some of them are left unfinished so that you could see, and I think it goes this way, how I start. So like these are the napkins right here. And then some collage bits, but then I start painting it all in. Okay, so I left these unfinished on purpose. You'll be making, oh, I'm impressed, Jean. You must have, that was a lot of work. I guess you just learned to love it. Jean. So you can see here, hey, Colleen, this is just bits collaged down, not incorporated yet. And then same, I think, for this girl. Although this one's further along, I can still see where I've left some parts to be painted in. All this is napkins. All this is napkins around here. And I'll do one here, and I'll show you a couple of the larger ones I've got in the big 14 or 12 by 14, 16 moly over here. Oh, look, there's Hubster. I see you in the corner, Hubster. He's not saying anything, but I see him. Okay, so I put look on the bright side on this one because it was so bright and happy. Look at that. That's how bright those colors are. I see that, Lynn. So yeah, there's those. Then let's see what's the next one. This one side. Now a couple of these girls have got because they've got a little scraped up. Let's put it this way. Like see how her face has got scrapes on it. These are not varnished or anything, so they've got a little wear and tear on them. Okay, this one this is a napkin, and so I think most of these we started with the napkin as the base. In this one here, I pretty much know that I'm going to add a color book page, girl, or something else on that page. But in this instance, I think we pretty much started with the idea of let's put the napkins down first and then build the page around the napkins because it was all about the napkins in these. Okay, and then there's a calendar butterfly wing right there on her. And then the stencil is all the swirls you see. The lemons and the jars are two separate napkins, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to feel. Yeah, that's two separate napkins. So we have the lemon napkin and we have the blueware jars. Yeah. So I think he popped out. I think he's gone now, guys. All right, so there's that one. Then this one, it's the same thing. Let me find her other half. She almost kind of looks like a vampire because of her. Let's see, does it go this way? No, I had it right. Whoops, sorry, guys. Okay, because some of her lips came off. You know, I just left it. She kind of looks vampire-ish, but could you show the bright red one? The bright red one. Bright red one. This one? Okay, there's that one. It's more pink. It's really pink and yellow and orange. But if that's the one you mean, Orla. Thanks, Kim. I know you've been wanting to see them. Hi, Angie Bell. Yeah, I'm just going back over the napkin journal again. Well, what's left of it is kind of fallen. Well, I took it apart when it started falling apart. And then what I did with the bamboo is I just took my gold paint. And this paint I think is hard to find now. But any bright gold. I'll show you your secondary choice. There's a couple choices. This was my favorite gold paint. It's the Soft Body Liquitex Iridescent. What is it called? Iridescent bright gold. Okay, and it's a bright gold. See, but this one is good too. It's it's not very different, and it's the Deco Art Dazzling Metallic Elegant Finish Gold. It's very similar. So either one of those, right? And I just took a brush and just freehand bamboo. But the napkin there's two different napkins. This napkin, no, actually there's three different napkins. There's the zebra stripe napkin. There's this Asian, kind of a Asian flower napkin. And then there's this design napkin. So there's three napkins. Then the girl we cut out of a magazine. This is a bit of some other fabric right here, I think, out of some other magazine. Again, then the three napkins over here, and then painted it all in, and then put the bamboo on the top. All right. This one, let me get the other half, because like I said, they're sort of out of order here. This one I call my Artie Dar Fairy Forest. Artie Dar. Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. We already did a Happy Mail segment. Thank you so much to Christy MV, Desiree, and Miss Kim S. L, because she has two last names, so thank you guys. for all the Happy Mail, and that's a separate video. So I did have a request again to see the old napkin journal. Okay, so it's I deconstructed it. It's out of the book, and it's 12 by 12. And I think I have most of the pages. There's really not that many in there. Maybe 10 pages or double pages, though. So, hey, Linda. Anybody else popping in? So I'll show that again if Kim's still here. And I don't know if she is. But if she is, let me check. Thanks, everybody, for being here. She might have had to leave. I'm not looking. I don't see her. So, the old napkin journal. Yeah. So I'm going to record it. So if Kim's had to leave, because she's the one that asked to see it. And oh, I got to write myself another note here. Yeah. Okay, and then we also oh, she is there. Okay, I just didn't see you in the scroll. Thanks, Kim. Okay, so I'm going to show the napkin journal, and then we'll probably do something in the big Moleskine. This big Moleskine, which is 12 by 16, I think. Yeah, 12 by 16. Close enough. And I use this one for mixed media, all kinds of, just the same kind of stuff that we use the other art journals for, but a little less, just a little bit more loose. Okay, a little bit more loose. I've deconstructed it. What that means, I've taken it all apart. Okay, the pages have been, some have been sprayed, stenciled, a little less fussy than I do in my Dilutions journals, which I'm more aware of how much sprays I'm putting, where I'm putting this. I'm a little more particular in those books because I know I'm going to probably fussy cut out some color book pages or something and put in those Dilutions books. And so I'm a little bit more particular. This one, I'm not particular at all. Throw anything in this one. Same thing for the desk journal. I'll throw anything in that. This one here. My rubber banded desk journal. Where's Carla? Carla loves seeing these. It's so funny, Carla. Oh my gosh, I love seeing all those journals because she likes doing this kind of thing too. So she loves seeing it. I'm the same way. If somebody else is doing the same kind of thing like collage or mixed media, I'm all over it. I'm looking for those videos. Just saying. But this is my desk journal, and you can see it's pretty thick, and it's just for all kinds of paint, scrapey paint, and then I might go back and work something on it. Like where's one that we've done something on? And they usually don't stick unless I close the book without letting it dry, which happens occasionally, But where's one of the pages that we've done recently? Where's a page we've done recently? Here. No, that's not. Well, we worked a little bit on a castle on that one. But it's just leftover scraped paint, bits of collage or whatever. And we put a little trail of people going up the hill there. You're scared of the cameo? No need to be scared of the cameo, Terry. Unless you forget to put your paper on a mat, there's no reason to be scared. Just put the paper on the mat. Yeah, this is my version of a desk journal that just sits on my desk where little bits of, and I do go in there and I'll add other things, stencils, but it's just bits of things, right? Then you can go back in and do some stuff in it. I've numbered all the pages up to, I think, 200. It probably holds about 400 pages. Well, what this one is made out of, this is the, let me measure, because I always forget the exact measurements of papers. It is 11 by 14, is it? 11 by, why is it 14 and a half? Is it 11 by 15? Well, anyway, it's just that thin copy paper, printer paper, 11 by 14, 15, whatever. And they're folded in half, and I made it into a rubber band book. Now remember this one? I've shown it a few times. It's a rubber band book, and all it is signatures made out of folded over printer paper, the long ones, whatever size that is, 11 by 14, folded in half, made into signatures. So they're thin, so that you can get a lot in it when it's thin paper, right? Let me see if there's a couple others. See, this is the kind of stuff that's in here. Until I go in and make it something, this is what it stays like. You know, this is what it stays like when we scrape paint on there. This is now here's a napkin right here. That's a napkin right there, right? Just all kinds of stuff. It's scrapey paint. But here's one where we've gone back in and developed something off. You did Inspire Space Collage. Yes, please do. Take a picture of it. And if you're on Twitter or Instagram, Purple Angel, post it there too. But feel free to send it to me, yeah. You've never seen this one, Terry? Oh my gosh, this one's been around for quite a time. Quite a time. Because this is the one that, well, it's one of the ones. All right, we